Brigham Young. So the Cougars getting ready to kick off. Owen Potchman puts a foot into it, and we're underway in Provo. That one's deep into the end zone. We'll get you out there and keep you up to date with everything that's going on. Right now, back to Raleigh and the Canes and Pirates. Ellis hitting Anthony Southern. He goes in from the 15. It's 7-0 Cavaliers. We're going to get you to Provo as soon as you guys are done with a terrific finish in Raleigh. Brigham Young already up 7-0. Dan Ellis again working the flat. This time it's Kevin Coffey, 25 yards. Ellis couple of TD passes. And Virginia's on top of the 19th ranked Cougars, 14-0. We get you to Provo as soon as you guys finish up with East Carolina and Miami.
Here in Provo, Utah Cougar Stadium, an upset is in the making. An upset is brewing as the 19th ranked BYU Cougars at home, where they've won 8 consecutive games, trail the Virginia Cavaliers 21-0. In the opening stanza, Virginia came out, ran their offense to perfection, and put 3 touchdowns on the board. BYU 1st and 10 from their side of midfield. Kevin Federick, the quarterback, making the completion to the tight end Nuno.
So we get an East Carolina comeback that beats the Canes in a huge upset. Virginia's coming in here and up 21-0, and Mark has dominated both sides of the football, dominated the line of scrimmage. They were like 150 to 160 yards to BYU's less than 25 yards in the first quarter. They are doing everything right. Gary Tranquil, the offensive coordinator for Virginia, has made some great plays. They've had wonderful field position in this football game.
Yeah, the story of the game has been the running of Thomas Jones, the poise of quarterback Dan Ellis for Virginia, and another touchdown run by Anthony Southern. Federick, having plenty of time, finds his target at the 30-yard line. Complete to Ben Horton, number 88, and another first down. Let's recap how we got to 21-0 for the Cavaliers. They took the opening kickoff and moved it downfield. The first touchdown courtesy of the fullback Anthony Southern, and then Ellis again slicing and dicing that defense. Kevin Coffey with the second touchdown, and then Thomas Jones found a gaping hole off the right side of that offensive line to make it 21-0 for the Virginia Cavaliers. And Virginia scored on 3 of its 4 drives. Dan Ellis 6 of 7 with 2 touchdowns. Thomas Jones, the All-American candidate, has run for 60 yards with a touchdown. Meanwhile, Kevin Federick, Sean Salisbury on the other side of the ball, just 5 of 10 for 30 yards.
And those 2 interceptions have given up points on the other end. Virginia has capitalized when they've had a chance. You saw the 2 touchdown passes by Ellis. BYU wanted to blitz in long yardage situation with their linebackers. They did. Ellis picked up the hot receiver both times, made nice throws, and they finished on 2 bad tackles in the BYU secondary both times for touchdowns.
First down and 10. This is the first time this evening, folks, that BYU has been in Virginia territory. The inside handoff. That's to Donnie Atuaya, number 35, the 6'1", 245-pound senior. Get about 4.
Well, that's almost in a situation now, and it's a long football game, 3 quarters to go, but BYU is not going to do that very often tonight. You know, they're going to give it as a change-up pitch, but they're going to throw to set up the run a little bit. Virginia's defense, when BYU does pass, and they've done it to Federick a couple times, aside from the interception, they're going to try to hit him any way they can tonight to make him think twice and try to get rid of the ball prematurely throughout the football game.
3rd down and 4, Sean. A 1 wide receiver to the top of your screen, Pittman. Federick with time, and the pass was dropped at the 38-yard line that time by Jonathan Pittman. Tim Spruill, number 21 for the Cavaliers, has been having a career night so far, playing well.
Nice job. Pittman come back to the football. It just gobbles him up. Let it eat him up. Just didn't concentrate. Must have taken his concentration off or his eyes off the football. Pitch was there. What you saw there, too, is Virginia rushing 3 and dropping 8. And they've done that a bunch of times in this football game, playing soft zone against BYU and trying to make, especially when they're in long yardage situations.
Soward standing on his own 39-yard line. Cougars punting once again. Arlen Harris calls for the fair catch. And they could not down it. He'll come out to the 20-yard line for the Cavaliers. A 46-yard punt and nothing on the return. So the Virginia Cavaliers out of the ACC lead the Mountain West's BYU Cougars when we come back. So I'm doing
presentation of primetime college football is brought to you by Killian's Irish Red, which reminds you one look says a lot. And by State Farm Insurance. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Welcome everyone back to Provo, Utah. Mark Jones along with Sean Salisbury and Nick Lowry. Elevation 4,500 feet. And right now the Cavaliers riding sky high with a 21-0 lead. Thomas Jones. Jones cutting it back the other way against the flow. Gaining about 3 yards.
Does a nice job of making something out of nothing. BYU caved down pretty good, but they talked BYU's defense telling us yesterday he does a wonderful job of cutting back. In the first quarter alone, 11 attempts, 60 yards for a touchdown for Jones, and he's going to see a lot of those carries tonight, especially with that average.
Yeah, Chris Hope was talking about gap control right forth for BYU.
And if you lose that gap just a little, he'll slither through there and make a play. Thomas Jones will.
2nd down and 7 for Virginia. Little play fake. And Ellis brought down at the 11-yard line. The 2nd sack of the afternoon, actually the evening now, for the Cougar defense. Chris Hope, who I was just referring to from Long Beach, California.
His biggest attribute is he's quick, and he doesn't quit. Look at this. Hustle to the ball. Doesn't let Ellis get a chance to reset. Beats him to the punch. Nice job using his quickness. That's his attribute that he said, I'm going to have to be quick and make some plays, and he did that. What a great personality that kid has.
We had a nice meeting and visit with him yesterday. He's got 2 speeds, his motive, fast and faster.
I was going to give him the mic and say, man, come on up here and do both duties.
3rd down and 17. Ellis hands it off. This is where Jones can hurt you if you're not careful. Thomas Jones out to the 23-yard line and downstairs to Nick Lowry.
Well, guys, we thought we were going to talk about BYU missing Rob Morris. They're missing his backup, Jeff Holtry. And, in fact, his concussion is so bad that he didn't even know that he was out for 2 series when UVA scored. So he's probably out for the rest of the game.
Not good.
Wow.
Thanks, Nick. That's not good.
Yeah.
Now you're going depth-wise always becomes a problem. Take an outside linebacker and move him inside. Now with him out, BYU gets a good running football team in trouble.
This is Deron Dabney. And a nice tackle at the 38-yard line by the Virginia special teams. Shannon Taylor making the stop. A 42-yard punt and 3 on the return. The Cavaliers out hustling and outworking the Cougars. We'll be right back.
Leather seats. Automatic.
ESPN2's presentation of primetime college football is brought to you by the new Lincoln LS.
BYU Cougars with the ball on their own 39-yard line. 1st down and 10. And they are trailing 21-0 with 10-12 to play in the first half. Frederick wide open to Atuaya. The fullback with a 1st down into Virginia territory at the 48.
Got a flag down too here, Mark.
Taylor and Isabel making the stop for the Cavaliers. This one back at the 34-yard line. Could come back. And it's not. It's against the defense.
The point, interpersonal foul, roughing the quarterback. Talking though, Mark, when you and I talked, I said, you know, if you're Virginia, even though you don't like penalties, you never attempt.
Roughing the passer, 15 yards from the end of the run, 1st down.
You never intentionally try to hurt somebody, but you know what? This is another hit that Virginia wants to get on the quarterback. Watch this. Boom, a little late. Now that's uncalled for. Now you get in his face and you hit him and you try to rattle him a little, keep him up, but you know you can't slam the quarterback down there now. Somebody's going to get hurt. Fortunately, Frederick's okay, but personal foul, but once again, doing everything they can to try and hit the quarterback with. That was a little unnecessary roughness, or a lot of unnecessary roughness.
Yeah, Johnny Shivers, number 99, the perpetrator that time. 1st down and 10 from the 34 for the Cougars. Out of the shotgun again. This one complete at the 35-yard line to Ben Horton, number 88, the 5'11 junior, who's averaging 5.5 receptions a game.
Take a look at that now. Kevin Frederick been hurried one time, has been hit 6 times now. You start to get into the teens now. It starts to get to a quarterback. He's a tough kid, too. There he is. You see 6 completions at 50%. 2 interceptions, though, the big key. So what Virginia will do now, and Frederick's going to have to be patient, and he's been patient in the first 2 games of the season. They're going to run, whenever they get in the spread-out offense, they're going to rush 3 and 4 guys, drop 7 and 8, and make him beat them, dumping the ball off, as you saw in the last 2 plays, Mark.
This time they show a 2-receiver set. They run the screen. Staley brought down at the 33-yard line by a host of tacklers, including Byron Thweet. It'll be 3rd down and 9. Anderson also in on the stop.
Little screen, getting Matt Johnson out there, the guard, trying to get out in front. Staley trying to pick a spot. Johnson does a nice job kicking his man out, but good pursuit by the Virginia defense to limit that screen pass to a small gain. And what do we got? We're going to take a measurement here, Mark, or?
Yeah, it looks like we will. And Luke Staley. Nope. Nice picture, huh? That is the look of a football player.
Yes, it is. So they come up shy here on 3rd down. Still going to go to the gun.
They are 0-3, Sean, in 3rd down conversions so far. Virginia coming with a blitz. They picked it up. Was it caught? It was tipped. And they're going to mark it at the 26-yard line.
You know what? I'm sorry.
The tight end, Afahunga.
Sorry about that. Sorry about that, Mark. I'm sitting here looking at 1 down yards. I'm thinking 3rd and a half an inch. Can I get a measurement? It was 3rd and 10. BYU get the tip and the catch. No wonder they're in the gun with the split back. Saying, Sean, wait a minute. I never played an offense like that.
We have seen a little bit of everything. A few surprises, a few unusual happenings. Not to the liking, though, of that man, Lavelle Edwards. We'll be right back.
Finding that car you've always wanted has never been easier. You can thank AutomallUSA.com for that.
4th down and 1 for Lavelle Edwards' BYU Cougars. The nose of the ball on the 25-yard line. They are 1 of 1. There you go on the season this year in such situations. Staley and Sataki out of the eye. Staley has the 1st down and then some. Still on his feet. Staley breaking 2 tackles down to the 11-yard line. Chris Williams making the tackle finally.
We talked about his casual attitude, but there's nothing casual about him when he plays. Talked about how strong his legs are, too. Watch the continued drive. Breaks 1 tackle there. Going to make 1 miss there. And then the 3rd guy who gets a hand on him a little bit too late. Makes a guy miss and breaks a tackle. That's a little bit of quickness and power. Gets him inside the red zone. BYU chipping away at this now. About 7.5 minutes to go here in the 2nd quarter, Mark.
Yeah, a former 100-meter high school champion. Staley, play clock running down. Little play fake. Frederick has all day. Incomplete. Fans want a flag, but the Cavaliers defend it well that time. Shenard Newby, the weak safety, free safety, broke up the pass intended for Atuaya.
Take a look here. This will be hit number 7 on the quarterback. Nice. This is a coverage hit right here. Nice coverage. Boom. Hits him in the chin. Those start to take its toll. That's hit number 7. There's a guy open on the backside, but you know what? Every receiver says he's open, don't they?
Yeah, I'm sure you heard enough of that.
Yeah, 7 hits on the quarterback.
That sounds like a lot to me at this juncture of the game, isn't it?
Hey, we still got a lot of 2nd quarter to go. That is a lot. And it will start to take its toll with Kevin Frederick and BYU's offense if that continues.
2nd down and 10 out of the shotgun. 2 backs this time. Staley, incomplete, broken up, but a flag thrown. Byron Thweet, number 32, was defending. And this has come to be at any level now, Sean, the most contentious call in all of football, I believe, outside of holding, pass interference.
Oh, you're not kidding, it is. And it's one of those, it may be like holding when you can call it on a lot of plays here. It's just one of those judgment calls by a referee. And makes the throw.
On the defense. Ball replaced on the 2-yard line. 1st down.
And you'll never be happy either. You decide you can't win if you're a referee. But take a look at this now. You like this mismatch. You get a running back in Staley on the linebacker at 3. Look at that. Nice throw. You got to turn around. If he just turns around and looks at the ball, that's a good call. Take a look at this. And hit number 8 on the quarterback. And it may not seem like much, but he's on the ground again. 3 just turns around and finds the ball. That might not happen.
4 receivers. They give it to Staley. Touchdown BYU. Staley had 3 touchdowns last week against Colorado State and gets his first here now.
They relied on him a little bit on that drive, huh?
Yeah.
Say, get the pass interference to play before, and if this BYU can get mismatches of a back on a linebacker, they love that. Then he shows his power between the tackles, pounds it in. Nice job by the push up front by the line to draw him within about 14 if this PAT is good.
Owen Potchman in for the extra point. Another left-footed place kicker. And this one is no good.
Like how I said,
Partially
if it's
blocked.
any good. Yep, got a block.
And that has happened too frequently for the Cougars' liking so far this year. Number 85, Maurice Anderson, got one of those big paws up and got a piece of it. And one more look at that last scoring drive for the Cougars. Staley
gets a screen pass, gets it out in front. There's one carry by him. Federick should have been intercepted, but nice effort to make the play. Staley one more time. He's going to make the guy miss and break a tackle. And on another play for him. And here's the touchdown, him pounding it inside. That just after the interference call where they were throwing the ball to Staley. As Kevin Federick takes it down, he'll take a win, doesn't care about the stats, but those will pile up if you're on BYU regardless. Now you see Staley with the touchdown run.
You get the feeling, Sean, that eventually, maybe sooner rather than later, he could become the guy, the feature back in that backfield.
Well, I'll tell you, for a guy who doesn't start, I mean, starting as a running back when they call you a starter, it's kind of, it's so many people play at the position for BYU. You never know really who they're putting in. Doesn't mean he's going to play most of the game. Well, Staley's come in and has been so effective for this football team this year. The true freshman. Yeah, I think that when he's in there, he makes things happen, and things are happening with him, and he gets his hands on the ball. He does something with it.
Hey, Sean, check out next week's action here on ESPN2. It starts off at 12 noon, Illinois and Indiana, followed by Virginia Tech against Virginia at 6 p.m. Then number 25 Air Force goes to San Diego State at 9 p.m. for more. Log on to ESPN.com, part of the Go Network, Go.com. And Air Force losing today to Wyoming.
Yeah,
a surprise.
They'll fall right out of that top 25, but that's still a good football team. And there to those Aztecs next week.
And this one out of the end zone. Harris watches it go over the top of his head. And Virginia will start off on its own 20 and downstairs to Nick Lowry.
Well, Sean and Mark, in addition to BYU for the first time ever, going back to not only a blue helmet, but blue on blue, blue pants and blue shirt, Virginia for the first time in 15 years is going white on white for the express reason that it's going to help Dan Ellis find his receivers. Back to you.
That's an interesting point.
Very good point.
Have you ever had troubles with colors and receivers, Sean, in your time?
You'd have thought it when I threw the ball sometimes. But no, but I'll tell you what, no. It makes it very distinct, though. And Ellis is playing like the colors matter tonight, isn't he?
Sure does. Thomas Jones between the tackles out to the 24-yard line. Thomas Jones, the 5'10", 207-pound senior. 3 touchdowns last week against Wake Forest. Ran the ball 24 times for a total of 164 yards. He is extremely talented, folks.
Explosive, and he's one of those guys. You look for a home run hitter. If you're a football team, you want a home run hitter that can take it the distance at any time, and that's exactly what Jones brings to the table. BYU has done a good job. They're 7th in the NC2A against the rush this year starting out, but not tonight.
Little play fake by Ellis. Escaping Trouble's arms for just a moment anyway. Ellis brought down at the 29-yard line, about a yard short of the first down. And there's a look at the impressive numbers of Thomas Jones so far, averaging 5.1 per.
With still a lot of time left to go here in the second quarter. Getting back to Ellis, and Mark, you and I were talking. I said 6 to 8 to 10 times in a game things are going to go bad, and the quarterback is going to break down. Now that's the second time. That's a positive play. Keeps him in third and short yardage. He's done 2 smart things when he's had pressure tonight, both for positive plays.
And they've converted 60% of the time tonight. That's what happens when you get third and short, and they convert again. Out to the 32-yard line, Thomas Jones with a nice run off the left side, running over LaMontagne and Josh Lawson, number 52 and 77. Tyson Smith, the safety, making the tackle for BYU. You know, another impressive number regarding number 6 is the fact that he has not, Sean, I'm told, he has not missed 1 practice while at Virginia.
And we
not even for class.
Yeah, we're talking about, first and he graduated in 3 years, too. In graduate school, the kid is smart, a neat guy, and going to be playing on Sunday someday.
Ellis back to pass on 1st and 10. This one complete at the 42-yard line to number 11, Billy McMullen, the 6'4" freshman. Another one of those tall targets. One of the members of the Virginia receiving corps, 6'4". Coffee goes 6'4" as well.
Nice big target to throw to. Watch Ellis's timing here now. There is no hesitation. When a quarterback hesitates, he who hesitates throws an interception. Boom, puts his foot in the ground, gets it open. Nice high and outside throw to allow his receiver to go get it where it's either going to be his guy or nobody's going to get it. The timing, and Dan Ellis has been on time all night. He's mixed in the plays with the tight end. And they've been run. Gary Tranquil's doing a good job of letting Ellis, decipher run. They're sprinting out, moving the pocket, doing a lot of good things. But I like the fact that there's no hesitation in his decision making.
Sean, we talked about the possibility of Virginia maybe coming out early in the ball game and throwing it as opposed to running it. Are you surprised they actually went out and did that?
Well, you know what? Not really. Not really. The thing it is, when you come in here, BYU talked before the game knew that they were going to come out and wanted to hand the ball to Jones. But what they did start out with early in the first quarter, saw him get the tight end involved. Then you saw him sprint out and throw a sprint out pass and run it. And then you saw Jones hit a draw play, and you saw him throw the ball outside. So he's done a little bit of, and then the drop pass where he ran a curl route and then the completion. So he's done a little bit of everything, and they're keeping BYU guessing on defense, and that's a success. And there's Coffee.
Yeah, Kevin Coffee, the team's leading receiver and most dangerous receiver, already with a touchdown, but right now with a wrap on that right ankle of his.
They don't need that right now. They're moving the football well, and obviously you'd like to have him in the football game because he's a big play guy for them.
Already with 3 touchdowns on the season in as many games. Ellis, 7 of 8 tossing the ball today, a total of 96 yards. Thomas Jones, he has got some different gears. Makes you miss, you bet. Ask the BYU corner, who just got juked that time on the 12-yard run.
We're seeing a lot of Thomas Jones, but I want you to watch the left side of this offensive line. Watch him create a new line of scrimmage. Look at this. Got their hands on a man. There's nobody around there. Then he makes the guy miss in the open field, which is his strength. But the left side of that Virginia line, getting their hands and using them, offensive linemen now could use those hands, keep them in the body. They're not letting BYU pull away. 17 carries for 90 yards and a touchdown here in the first half.
With 5:11 to play, the draw. Jones again, dancing, moving. Thomas Jones, he's got candy for everyone. Touchdown, Virginia. A 45-yard scamper, and the Cavaliers take a 27-6 lead, but there's a flag back at the 35-yard line.
Hey, if you don't know Thomas Jones, you do now. What a great block. The kick-out block by the trap man.
The touchdown stands. The penalty against the defense. 6 more for number 6.
I believe it was, I'm sorry, Mark, I believe it was Anthony Southern that made the great kick-out block, and we'll get a chance to see it after the PAT. Man alive, this is surprising.
BYU's defense came into this game, just in case you just joined us, the Cougars defense came into this game giving up just 55 yards per contest on the ground. 7th in the nation. Thomas Jones by himself has gone over 100 yards already.
Had 90 yards before that carry.
Tacked on 45 more, Sean, and has 135.
He's got his average right now, and we haven't got to halftime yet.
Braverman with the extra point, which is good. Yeah, he's got something to smile about. Thomas Jones.
Take a look at the kick-out block by Southern. Boom. Gets it to the house. You're not going to catch him in the open field, Mark.
Thomas Jones making it a good day for the Cavaliers. We'll be right back. 8-6, and I swear I thought I saw George Wells smile just a bit a minute ago, Sean.
No, you didn't.
Oh, you're right.
One of the great coaches we have in college football here, and loves this game, been doing it a long time.
A look at that last scoring drive. 6 plays, 80 yards, capped off by that 45-yard touchdown run by Thomas Jones.
Isn't it amazing that wherever there's certain coaches that are difference makers, and wherever he goes, whether it's Navy, they always win. You know, whether he's got to turn around a program, what have you, they always are in the mix. George Wells, one of the neat coaches, obviously has his team well prepared to play this football game on the road. And they got VTech next week, so it doesn't get any easier.
This is their first non-conference game of the season. David Green back deep for the Cougars to get this kick. And once again, for the 3rd time this evening, They'll start off on their own 20-yard line, but Thomas Jones made a great run.
We're talking about the runner, but I want you to watch these guys here make the block and watch the kick-out block here. We always give credit to the running back, but he ought to get through this hole. He's a wonderful player, but look at the size of that hole. Gets a nice kick out, and then he breaks a tackle, and here his speed takes over. That's a combination of speed and power. This just adding to the yardage total now. That's 236 for Virginia and 80 for BYU, but 3 wonderful blocks and a kick-out block by Southern. I think he's a pretty good football player, fullback, and I'm sure Thomas Jones loved to have him lining up in front of him.
Yeah, Southern catches the ball, has run it a couple of times well. 4 wide receivers in on this formation. Federick to pass out of the shotgun. And this one, well, they're going to rule it complete at the 37-yard line to Ben Horton, number 88, his second reception of the game. Williams making the tackle for the Cavaliers.
Nice throw. Nice catch and concentration as Horton hobbles a little bit. And who was the first man down there to greet him but the quarterback, Federick? So I think he's trying to get somebody pumped up in here and get him going. And, you know, the missed extra point, the touchdown by Jones, they've got to get a little momentum. Like to score here before halftime so you don't have to go and looking at that nasty score for BYU.
Yeah, pickup of 17 yards on the first down. Horton limping off the field. Federick downfield to Atuaya, who came out, and it's incomplete. It was intended for the fullback who came out of the backfield downfield. Jerton Evans almost had himself a pick, his second one.
Virginia's goal tonight, hit the quarterback as much as you could on defense. Boom, there's hit number 9. And not only the hit, but that's 2 hits in one, because the hit, the impact, and then the impact on the ground. And they're doing what they wanted to do tonight with him. Even though they've only got that, they got a sack on him tonight, or at least a hurry, excuse me, 1 hurry and 9 hits on him. And I'll tell you what, you're going to start to see the ball come out a little earlier. No matter who you are, you can be the toughest quarterback in the league, and that's going to happen.
4.5 minutes to play in the first half. A stunner in the making. 28-6 Virginia leading. Federick's going to pass again. And a big hit at the 45-yard line. The completion is ruled right there. The catch by Michael Westbrook, number 1, and Chris Williams put it to him. Let's go downstairs to Nick Lowry.
Well, Mark and Sean, there was a little concern about number 88 Coffey, who came over, was limping for quite some time, ran it out, and apparently he has a leg bruise, but he's probably going to go back into the game. Doesn't look too serious.
All right, thanks a lot, Nick. Meanwhile, Cougars 1st and 10 at their own 45-yard line. Make that 3rd and 2. Check that. Federick. There's the first down at the 42-yard line, finding his tight end, Carlos Nuno. Isabel making the tackle.
That's what's interesting. We've known BYU for very good tight end reception tight ends, the guys that catch the football. And Norm Chow, their play caller, told us yesterday that we got 2 tight ends that can block. They're not really great receivers, yet Nuno gets out there in the open field and Federick hits him, shows confidence to get him the football. Virginia's doing a good job in the secondary, though, keeping plays in front of them and not giving up the home run.
First down and 10. Staley cutting it back. Staley with wheels, still on his feet. Touchdown Staley. 41 yards.
Can you say big-time freshman?
Oh, is he ever. He has got that special star quality, Sean. And they are going to go for 2. Staley this time lining up in the slot. Now shifts back into the backfield. He's the deep back in the offset eye. Quick slant intended for his wide receiver, batted down to the line of scrimmage by Maurice Anderson. There he is, number 85.
That's 0 for 2 on extra points. Take a look at this now. Wide receivers don't get enough credit for blocking. Great effort by Staley, but if you're going to get the big play down the field, once you break into the secondary, your receivers have got to block. Watch when he gets into the secondary. Neither one of these receivers quit. You're going to get a guy up a body on a body there and just create seams, get in front of him. Got in front of him just enough, Horton did, to let Staley break the tackle and get into the end zone. This is a big-time freshman, 41-yard touchdown. They had 40 yards rushing, BYU did before the play. Mark, you made the point about, are we going to steadily see him more and more? Let me be a genius and say yes.
Well, it's interesting. When we visited with him yesterday and we asked him that question about being, quote, the man, unquote, he didn't really seem all that concerned about being the feature back in the formation. He was just happy to have that happy to be there attitude.
No, and he also told us, and meant it in the most humble of ways, because I put him on the spot, asked him if he had a weakness, and truth man, he says, you know, I don't really know if I have any weaknesses, but I can get better at everything. So the kid who's got his phone, and then got up and left on us because he had to go to class. So I can understand that.
That's what happens when you're an Eagle Scout. Chris Williams, number 29, was the guy that couldn't make the tackle. Staley ran away from him. And the Cougars right back in this ball game with 3:17 to play, in the first half. 28-12. Potchman to kick off for the Cougars.
They're not wild enough to kick it onside here, are they, Mark? You wouldn't think about this at this time of the game, would you?
Not that far from Vegas. They can roll the dice. Potchman kicks it deep. And I mean deep, out of the back of the end zone.
You're not going to see any kick returns tonight for either team.
Oh, don't forget on ESPN2, it's the Vegas.com 500. IRL's racing returns to ESPN. Others in the hunt for this race include Indy 500 champ Kenny Bracken, Scott Goodyear, among others, the Canadian. For more, log on to ESPN.com. Part of the Go Network, Go.com.
I always want to say that.
What's that?
Part of the Go Network, Go.com.
BYU's got that Go Network going right now.
Yes, they do.
After a rather sluggish start.
This is not a real big, comfortable lead if you're Virginia, though.
Yeah. Arlen Harris in at tailback for Virginia. And he gets the call here. Breaks a couple of tackles, but that play blew up from the beginning. He's brought down to the 18 by Brian Gray and Tyler Nelson, number 13.
Tell you why that play changed and why that play was blown from the beginning is normally we've seen here in the first majority of this football game, Virginia's offensive line moving to a new line of scrimmage where they're pushing them so back. But I want to tell you right now that BYU created a new line of scrimmage.
Let's go back to the studio.
All right, Mark, coming up at halftime, we've been flirting with upsets all day, and did we have another shocker down in Carolina? And John Makovic and I have watched a lot of football. We're going to pick our favorite moments. Also, we'll hear from the game day crew. That's at the half.
All right, Reese, as always, it has been a very compelling and intriguing day in college football on this Saturday. Justin Ena making the stop that time. Number 6, Thomas Jones. It'll be 3rd down and 9 to go for the Cavaliers.
Here's what BYU has not been able to do to Virginia early in this game. Get them in a long yardage situation and force the pass and force them to make plays on linebacker pressure. BYU told us they want to blitz linebackers on 3rd and long. Let's see if they get it here. Guys putting pressure from the inside.
Demetrius Dotson, one of the fastest receivers on the team, split wide. It's intended and it's picked. The All-American Brian Gray says, hello, Mr. Ellis. Brian Gray, who was not even expected to play, who has a groin injury, so severe that number 3 didn't even practice this week, comes up with maybe the biggest play defensively so far in the ball game for BYU.
3rd and 9. You force a quarterback to make decisions he doesn't want to make.
Gray, the team's best cover corner, picking number 17, Dan Ellis's pass.
Little excessive celebration there, I think, Mark, as Gray went up, changed in the locker room, came back down, said hello, made a phone call, and is back down to his teammates.
I think the officials were well within the interpretations.
A very good call, yeah.
And a look of concern suddenly etched on the face of George Welsh.
I kind of like a little fun celebration every now and then, as long as you're not dogging out the other guys. Hey, have a little fun. This is a game that's emotional, so you can make a 35-yard chip shot for PAT.
Well, they didn't do any breakdancing. Potchman with a long extra point. A 28-yard reception return on the pick for Brian Gray. One more look, Sean.
Coming down here right into your living room. Watch this on 3rd and 9. Ellis's eyes go right to the corner. They don't move. Gray reads the eyes. Squats on it. Touchdown. That's 3rd and 9 in long yardage. It's a big defensive advantage. And Dan, this is the first time tonight he sat there and focused on one receiver. Watch again. Watch his head. His head's going to go to the right and stay there. Gray does a nice job of reading, getting his tendencies down, takes it to the house. And BYU right now, they wanted to get one touchdown. They get it from Staley, at least to get it close. This is a huge momentum switch, and Gray makes his run up the tunnel in a nice play. That's just a DB understanding what quarterbacks do, and it's a quarterback watching his receiver just a little too long, Mark.
Told us, Sean, that he didn't even practice all week. His leg appeared to be healthy on that run to the end zone.
Yeah, maybe it's good that he didn't practice and spend a lot of time studying tape, because when you study tape, those are things that you see when you're an athlete and you know what's coming. Very difficult for you not to make plays. Nice job by Gray. You're right, he looked awful healthy. He got up that tunnel in a hurry. For a minute, I thought he was going to get some treatment. Treatment on that leg.
With all due respect to Virginia, they have responded well to adversity so far today offensively.
And they've dominated the game, Mark, except for these last 2 series. They've dominated, but BYU is now hovering at 28-19.
The ebb and flow of this game continues to be pretty severe. Potchman, 8 yards deep. And Harris takes a knee. Virginia again starting on its own 20-yard line. And Sean, we haven't seen the Cavaliers enjoy the good field position they did early in this ball game.
Yeah, and their field position, they had it at the 40, they had it at the 50, they had it at the 40, and one time at the 20 in the first. I mean, their 4 possessions, they had the ball in great field position. Now they're getting it back at their 20 each time. And BYU in the last series keep them in 3rd and 9, and now you're at an advantage. And this thing, we still got a $1:47 to go. And I think we're in for a heck of a football game here.
No doubt. Ellis threw his 5th interception of the season on their last series. Let's see what he does here. They hand it off to Thomas Jones. Always a good decision. Most of the time, he gains 7. Takes some of the steam defensively out of BYU. Elon Edwards, number 25, making the tackle for the Cougars.
First 4 drives for Virginia, Mark. They started at their own 44 was the average. Last 4 drives, average at their own 20. That's a 24-yard difference, and that makes a world of good for BYU field position-wise. And Thomas Jones is a pretty doggone good option. We don't risk much giving it to him.
And we have a flag, Sean, down on the play.
Dead ball, personal foul on the defense, 15 yards, automatic first down.
So the clock now with 1:37 to go in the half becoming a definite factor for both teams. Folks, don't forget Sunday Night Football on ESPN. The Giants and the Patriots tomorrow at 8:15. Patriots offense flying high behind quarterback Drew Bledsoe. And then Monday night, the Niners against the Cardinals at 9 o'clock Eastern time. Niners look to Steve Young to reignite their offense. For more, log on to ESPN.com. Part of the Go Network. Thomas Jones brought down at the 40-yard line that time.
That's what you've got to do to him. You cannot let his legs get moving towards the line of scrimmage. You've got to get him in the backfield before he gets started. And Hoke's done a nice job. Fritsch, who is a very, very good run stopper. Got some big arms, too, by the way. Those get in the backfield. And now you put him again now, 2nd and 12, long yardage situations. Not what you want to be in if you're Virginia, trying to get some momentum going your way.
Thomas Jones running 21 times for 142 yards. And this is his 22nd carry. Jones running right over the center down to the 43. Got a couple on that play. Chris Hoke, number 58, in on the stop along with Frisch, number 93.
You listened to the BYU guys talk yesterday, and Hoke in particular. Man alive, did they have a lot of respect for Thomas Jones. Really do. And I understand they had their work cut out for him. When you lose your starting middle linebacker, Morris is a Butkus Award candidate, a wonderful player, maybe the best inside backer in America. Then you lose your backup middle linebacker, who's a starting outside linebacker in Holtry. And now, you're to your third guy. Maybe the rest of the 10 guys say, we got to do something here. We can't let this guy go. But 140-plus yards, playing pretty good. There's Rob Morris. So arguably the best inside backer in the country right there.
Yeah, Morris, Butkus Award candidate, as you mentioned, on the sidelines, not playing. And, you know, while we're talking about awards and honors, hey, why not sell a few tickets today for Thomas Jones and the Heisman Award? He came into this contest averaging 137 yards per game, and he has already surpassed that, Sean, with 142.
Well, he gets it now on a national televised game. I'll hop on your back and go with you on that one.
All right.
I'll tell you what I've seen of the backs I've seen. This kid ranks right up there with the top. 44 rushes this year for 310 yards. The most impressive, though, is the 7-yard average in his last 2 games. Take a look at that, the last 2 games. This is a good football player. Let's throw his name into that fire. I like that.
Okay, 3rd down and 9 out of the shotgun. Ellis barely got it off. Under duress, intended for Anthony Southern. And the Cavaliers unable to get anything out of this last drive.
Take a look at the pressure here. Getting back in the quarterback's face with just a 4-man rush, knowing they're going to throw on 3rd and 9. Now, I'm convinced a defensive lineman, if you told them they could eat twice at training table on the same day or go get the quarterback, they're going to tell you they want the quarterback instead. And that's saying something for guys who like to eat. They love 3rd and 9 in long yardage situations.
Well, maybe they can have their quarterback and eat it too, huh? This punt high from Donnie Scott. Dabney back at the 23, flags down, and they probably invaded that 2-yard halo around the punt returner that you're supposed to observe. A 35-yard punt, nothing on the return. Jason Small was in the neighborhood for the Cavaliers.
Got a little too deep into his kitchen there, didn't he? Got to give him that 2-yard plus room. Give him a chance, can't impair the catch.
Sean, you played in the Canadian Football League. I've certainly watched it quite a bit. And
non-contact, catch interference, 5 yards from the start of the foul, 1st down.
What do you think about them adapting that 5-yard area around the punt returner? I mean, it caused a lot of confusion this way.
Yeah, well, because these guys are going so fast. It's 2 yards to 4 yards is tough. You get into that bubble, I would agree with you. And plus, it's a little bit more of a safety net. But the guys running down, they hate it. They want to pound that guy.
Seen that called a lot so far this year. Empty formation, 5 receivers out this time for the Cougars. 1st and 10, 30 seconds to go. Complete to Michael Westbrook out at the 36-yard line. Stops the clock with 26 to go in the half. Downstairs to Nick.
Well, guys, not a big surprise, but Coach Rick Lance, the defensive coordinator for Virginia, spent a lot of time talking to Maurice Anderson, Lube Staminich, Johnny Shivers, the defensive line for Virginia. Their mood, of course, is completely different than literally 10 years ago. They're all 10 minutes ago. They were all smiles, and everybody was loose and confident, but it's a totally different thing now. They got to find a way to stop number 26.
Yeah, Nick, it might seem like 10 years ago for Virginia right now. Westbrook, the intended receiver, was running before he caught it. It's incomplete at the 43.
Now, Mark, time works against you here if you're BYU. 22 seconds left. But I'll tell you one thing, when Virginia's done it a lot, they're rushing 3 now and dropping 8 when BYU gets into this 4-receiver and 5-receiver empty backfield sets. But you're in danger if you do that to make sure that these guys, you can get big chunks of yards, 15, 18-yard games if you put yourself in field goal range. As you see them spread out here on the field, they're only going to rush 3 here.
On 3rd down and 2, they are 1 of 5 in 3rd down conversions. Federick completes the pass to the 48-yard line to Jonathan Pittman. Stops the clock with 15 seconds to go. They have 1 timeout remaining. A 34-yard pickup. Nose of the ball at the 48. And they stop the clock.
That's what I'm talking about. When you play that soft zone, a lot of people think prevent defense prevents you from winning football games. And when you're going to do that, you got to make sure everybody's accounted for. And if you're going to play that soft zone, make sure you keep things in front of you. You can't let them get into the seams. BYU and Federick do a nice job there of getting a nice pitch down the field. 1 more completion with this high altitude of about 15 yards, and you're in field goal range.
You mentioned the altitude. You wonder if eventually that might have an effect on the Virginia Cavaliers team.
It sure came out like it didn't matter, didn't it?
No, you're right. Second down and 10 from the 48. Federer's going to run. And he got nailed at the 42-yard line, about 5 yards short of the first down. 2 seconds to go in the half.
If you're BYU sidelines, you get nervous when that quarterback takes off and takes a hit. We were talking to BYU yesterday. They say if they lose Federic, this football team is in a world of hurt as far as a backup situation with no experience behind him. And here's the hit. Trying to get down, but doesn't get down quick enough and takes a vicious hit. But this is a tough guy. He walked in yesterday to our meeting, Mark. And when I saw him, and he reminded me a little bit of Jake Plummer, the look. He's a tough competitor putting up all these numbers. You walked in, I looked at him, I thought, maybe I should ask him to give me some Gatorade. He's not real huge stature-wise, but he sure plays big. And here's the 60-yard attempt.
Owen Potchman attempting a field goal from 60 out of the hold of Jesse Sowers. Go downstairs to Nick.
Can you kick this far there, Mr. Lowry?
I could make this, of course. But this guy was hitting at top of the net from 54 yards. He's got the distance. The question is, just like when you go out there to golf, Sean, you know, try not to hit it too hard and keep your form. But his problem is he's got a very live leg. He may try to overhit it. But if he doesn't, he should have the range.
Nick Lowry knows a little something about place kicking, doesn't he?
Yeah, he sure does. Wouldn't it be nice to be able to say, here's Nick kicking in, and Nick, one of the great kickers we've ever had in the National Football League, coming out there saying, oh, yeah, 60, ho-hum, you know, hitting it 5 yards, hitting it 8, 10 yards up on the net from 54 yards. That's one thing. What way would you kick, Mark? You soccer style, you straight on? Or you Snoopy and Charlie Brown and Lucy?
I'd never make it. You know, we are at altitude, as we've mentioned it. It's too bad that Nick never had the opportunity to kick as often at altitude.
Yeah.
And Nick, just how much of an effect does this 4,500-foot elevation have on the distance of the ball?
Well, guys, to get a little scientific, 5,200 feet, 1 mile is about 1 atmosphere. It's about 10% more distance. So for me, when I went to Denver at 5,200 feet, I'd get about 6-7 yards more distance. So this guy should be getting 5-6 more yards than he normally would. And, you know, if he hits from 55 normally, he should be hitting from around 60.
Hey, are you an Ivy Leaguer with this scientific stuff? You're smart, too. You can kick and you're smart. They're not going to kick now. They've changed their mind. I wonder how long Nick would have kicked if he got this altitude thing.
Well, he might still be doing it. 3rd down and 4. Federic back in the game. And they are sending everyone into the end zone. Incomplete. Hooks was there, had a chance. And the first 30 minutes of play is in the books, folks. Surprise, surprise, the Virginia Cavaliers with a 28-19 lead. They came out smoking on offense behind Jones and Ellis, and they lead by 9 at halftime. Right now, back to the studio with Reese Davis and John Makovic. Guys?
All right, Mark, you knew that BYU wasn't going to let that thing get away. USC and Oregon, this thing just underway. The Trojans throwing the ball down the middle. Steve Stevenson firing it in there, or making the catch rather, and getting it down to the 1. Chad Morton would score and made it 7-0 Trojans. They're about halfway through the first quarter. Plenty to come on the halftime report. East Carolina borrowed the stadium, and there was a little property damage afterwards. We'll show you how it happened coming up. But they would give the Canes much more weighty concerns. They rallied from 23-3 down. David Garrard down 23-20, finding Keith Stokes, dancing into the end zone, and the Pirates are on top, 27-23. Butch Davis's team would come back. 3rd and 15, deep in Pirate territory. Kenny Kelly looking for Santana Moss, can't find him. They have one last chance.
Well, this just shows Kenny Kelly's a young quarterback. He has not been in this kind of pressure before. His arm is just too much. He does not control his nerves. He'll get better at this.
27-23 the final. East Carolina pulls off the stunner, and they played the game in Raleigh because of the flooding in Greenville, and they took down NC State's goalpost. Somebody's going to have to pay for that. 27-23, same score as the Penn State game a week ago. Terrific night for Garrard. You see his numbers. Kenny Kelly 15-37, just $1.59. Florida and Kentucky, as seen over on ESPN. First quarter scoreless. Bo Carroll, big hole in the middle, and he carries a couple of cats in there. Gators up 7-0. Second quarter, Florida still leading 7-0. Doug Johnson finding Daryl Jackson. You know, Travis Taylor's out with an injury. 49 yards, 14-0. Still in the second quarter, Dusty Bonner looks for Gary Davis. Instead finds Benny Alexander of the Gators, and he's bringing it the other way, deep into Cat territory. On the same drive, Robert Gillespie would cash that one in from 4 yards out, and the old ball coach, Steve Spurrier, never really had much problem with the Cats on this night. 38-10, the final in this one. Johnson, 19 of 34, 242, 2 touches, and no pick. Nebraska annihilates Missouri, 40-10. Eric Crouch, 143 yards passing, 92 more rushing, and Correll Buckhalter busts 100 yards, 132, the first Nebraska runner to do so this season. In the Big Ten, Michigan and Wisconsin, Barry Alvarez with that bad knee in the booth late in the first quarter. Michigan up 7-0. A double reverse. David Terrell finding an alley and cutting it inside, and right there dancing in there along the sideline. 45 yards, 14-0. But the big one will bring him back, Coach.
Yeah, Ron Dane had a great first half in this game. He showed power and speed. I think it's the best I've seen him run in over a year. But in the second half, Michigan shut him down.
88 yards for Dane, a man named Brady. Tom Brady, Diallo Johnson. Brady, 17 of 27, 217 and 2 touchdowns. And Michigan wins it by a count of 21-16. Wisconsin's got Ohio State next week. Michigan faces Purdue. Indiana and Penn State Nittany Lions have no trouble. 45-24 the final in that one. Rashard Casey, 13 of 15, a $196, a couple of touchdowns. Also ran for a score. And Florida State blitzes North Carolina 42-10. Memphis and Tennessee, second quarter, 7-3 Vols. Neil Suber, a terrific interception by Dwayne Goodrich here, John.
Watch him as he goes high and keeps his eyes on the ball, and then just an acrobatic catch.
This thing is tied late. Memphis up 16-10, about a minute to go. T. Martin, a dart to Cedric Wilson, and T. Martin with some guts, saving homecoming as Tennessee barely escaped. 17-16, the final in that one. Cedric Wilson with the gamer, and Texas A&M got a couple of defensive touchdowns. Southern Mississippi's offense is abysmal. It was a 23-6, the final there. The Golden Eagle defense has allowed only 1 touchdown to the A&M in Nebraska, but the offense has given up 4 in 2 weeks. So based on everything you've seen, John, I'm going to give you a ballot. Who's your top 5 right now?
Well, let's talk about A&M because I'm going to move them right in there. Of course, it's easy to say Florida State. They were powerful. Penn State wins big. Florida, those 3 haven't changed. I moved Texas A&M up because I think overall they are the strongest of the next teams. Michigan would drop to 5. I see these as the top 5 teams this week.
Michigan and Purdue, that ought to be a battle in the Big Ten. Coming up next week. We'll see if John's ballot mirrors the coaches' poll when it comes out tomorrow. We've got a lot more coming for you on the halftime report, including everything going on the West Coast. Stay with us. We're back after this. Of course, with that long winning streak, Jay Stoner of the Cowboys finds Coffee Shuck over the middle, and he's open, and he's going to score 60 yards for the house. Cowboys on top 7-0. They would win it by a count of 10-7. The loss snaps Air Force's 11-game winning streak, and San Diego State blitzes the Jayhawks 41-13. The final in that one. Jack Hanley, 343 yards and 3 touchdowns passing. UCLA and Stanford. Third quarter is 21-3 Stanford. Joe Borchard throwing it to Troy Waters. This is an end-to-end play, 98 yards.
Yeah, UCLA still has woes. Stanford, 672 yards in this game. Defense is not UCLA's strength.
Also going down in the top 25, NC State getting blitzed by your alma mater, Wake Forest, 31-7. Morgan Kane, 147 yards and 3 touchdowns on the ground. Back to the Pac-10, Arizona and Washington State. Fourth quarter tied at 24, 5 seconds remaining. Dick Tomey, so much has gone wrong for this team. Keith Smith firing it up there. Ortiz Jenkins jumped for it, but it's Bobby Wade pulling it in on his back, and the Wildcats have a miracle at the end. Finally, something good happens for this team that was so highly regarded. 30-24, the final in that one. Arizona State and Cal, Bears getting a win. And how about the freshman quarterback Kyle Bowler, 17-32 for 213?
Oh, yeah, Cal's one of my surprise teams for this year, Reese.
Temple and Marshall. That's a 34-0 score about halfway through the fourth quarter. Bobby Wallace's woes continue. Chad Pennington having another big night. And New Mexico State, after spanking Arizona State, struggling with UTEP early in the third quarter. Tony Samuel's team off to a great start. trying to stay unbeaten. Ohio State fell behind 17-3 to Cincinnati, got the ship righted 34-20 the final in that one. You see Kenyon Rambo with a huge day. And Drew Brees had a 99-yard touchdown pass to Vinny Sutherland as Purdue, in a game you saw on ESPN2, beats Northwestern 31-23 the final in that one. Gary Barnett, Rick Neuheisel, reunion, but I don't think Barnett's going to be playing sacks for Rick anytime soon. 24-24 in the fourth. When you see Marcus Tuiasosopo finding Chris Juergens for the 9-yard score, and the Huskies win it 31-24. The Buffs can't beat their old coach, but Ole Miss did. Ole Miss beating Auburn 24-17. Tommy Tuberville's first loss as head coach of the Ole Miss Rebels. Kansas State was down 28-7 to Iowa State. Darren Davis ran wild in the first half, but David Allen with a huge punt return, and K-State rallies for the 35-28 win. And Baylor, well, Baylor didn't have to worry about taking a knee. They took a powder. They got knocked out of there. 62-0. Major Applewhite getting it done again for Texas. Our halftime show continues. We will check in with the College Game Day people in Madison.
Morning. Nice try. Better luck tomorrow.
We've got your next car at the Jeff Young Motor Company, the used car leader on 82nd Avenue. With over...
Of course, Michigan here beat a good Wisconsin team. Nebraska, Florida State put together the games their coaches have been waiting for. Nittany Lions and Gators avoid the letdown after the emotional game. The Canes and the Vols do not. But even individual scorecard right here.
Well, I'll tell you what, Ron Dane in Wisconsin did not have a good second half against Michigan. He had 8 carries, no yards on national television. That is not good for the Heisman. Now let's take a look at some of the other guys. Peter Warrick, Florida State, 8 touches, 238 yards total offense on the #1 team in the nation. Number 2, Joey Hamilton, quarterback from Georgia Tech, almost beat the #1 guy. Remember one thing, you can see these Georgia Tech and Hamilton Thursday night on ESPN. And last but not least, Drew Brees, Purdue's quarterback, has got him undefeated going to Michigan. Now the question I have for you, my friend, will Michigan do the same thing to Brees they did to Dane? Huh?
That'll be a good test for him. They haven't seen that kind of offense all year. Let me add another name to the mix. As far as I'm concerned, for the Heisman this early, everybody's chasing Peter Warrick. But a young man who's having an outstanding start so far, even though he has some inconsistencies, is Rashard Casey at Penn State. Now, he drives his coaches crazy with his antics and the way he can improvise. Here, it works out for the best. This play, I think, took about 200 yards. By the time he finally ends up into the end zone, it helped Penn State continue to propel and move on. Now, they're battling back and forth with Thompson and Casey. Rashard Casey, the more experience he gets, the better he becomes, and it really helps that offense become more dynamic.
Okay, we've seen the first month of the season, had a chance to see many of the top teams in the country in person, watched a good bit of them on television. Your thoughts on Virginia Tech, the Hokie team?
Hey, Thursday night, my friend and I saw Virginia Tech play, and they have a lineman named Corey Moore, who I think is the best defensive lineman in the nation by far. Virginia Tech's got to get more offense, though, if they're going to run the table.
Yeah, they do. And another team to keep an eye on is Nebraska. Last week, their offensive changes really backfired on them against a good Southern Miss team. Today, the offense was in high gear. Crouch looked good at quarterback. Bobby Newcomb scored a touchdown. And the thing that you got to like about Nebraska is between them and Texas A&M. And I know there's Texas.
Yeah, Texas.
That could be a great matchup November 6th if they're both undefeated.
And a salute to East Carolina. We've mentioned that. There probably hasn't been a team in college football have to overcome that kind of adversity, knowing that many of the players' apartments are flooded, borrowed equipment, borrowed practice field, borrowed stadium, down 20-0 against Miami.
Amazing.
We all have to salute them. It's an amazing emotional story for Logan and company to get that done. Southern Miss and Memphis, a salute to them even though they lost. Memphis close again.
Another salute.
3 losses to SEC teams by a total of 7 points. Southern Miss, they play at Nebraska, at A&M. They lose both. They only give up 1 offensive touchdown. That's it for now from Madison. More coming up from the studio.
On the fans here at Cougar Stadium. vociferous once again after their team roared back in the latter parts of the first half. Still trailing, though, 28-19. Hello, everybody. I'm Mark Jones along with Sean Salisbury. Sean, early impressions in this first half. It was all Virginia early and then all BYU late.
It's kind of been two games, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Virginia dominated early on, controlled the line of scrimmage, and allowed Jones to be in short yardage to touch the football. On the other hand, BYU turning the ball over too much, got Staley, the running back, involved, made a big play on defense, got himself back in the game. This lead's far from safe here in the first half.
You look at the first half statistics, 2 turnovers for BYU. One of those led to a score for the Cavaliers. Total yardage advantage to the Cavaliers. And right now, let's go downstairs to Nick Lowry. Nick.
Well, guys, Coach Edwards said basically they just came out a little bit too anxious when Virginia was dropping 8 and rushing 3. They just tried to get too much. When they relaxed in the second quarter, you saw the difference. Coach Welsh said, well, we're just going to have to keep throwing because the bottom line is BYU is going to score. We got to score with them.
That spells shootout, I guess. David Green will kick off for the Cavaliers. Teron Dabney, 9 yards deep for the Cougars. BYU will start off on its own 20-yard line. The Cougars looking to extend their home winning streak to 9 games. Meanwhile, Virginia trying to extend their streak of 2 consecutive wins against ranked opponents on the road to 3. The first half, quarterback Ellis for Virginia, 7 of 10, 96 yards, a couple of touchdowns, and he was very poised in the opening going. Frederick and Staley, meanwhile, carrying the load offensively for the Cougars. First down and 10 for BYU. Inside handoff to Fahu Tahi. Brought down by Maurice Anderson. Maurice Anderson, number 85, has been extremely active for the Cavaliers so far in the game. Tahi gaining 2 on the play. Tahi starts the game, but it's almost as if Staley gets the majority of the carries, Sean.
Yeah, and especially after that first half and early part of this season, I imagine he's get the majority in the second half, too.
You look at the Cougars in the second and third quarters. They seem to surge in the middle part of the ball game. That one incomplete, intended for Jonathan Pittman. He threw the touchdown. It was a lateral, a backward pass. And Frederick is stunned, as is Pittman, in protest. Tim Spruill gets a free one for the Cavaliers. You talk about a room service touchdown.
I'll tell you how you figured this out if the ref is right. Look at this reverse angle here. See where Frederick throws the football from? Very difficult to tell from that angle, from the yard line where Frederick threw it from, into where the ball, well, was ruled a fumble.
Spruill goes in untouched from 20 yards out.
Hard on the low angle to tell, and see if we can't try to find another picture, but that is a ruling down there that's difficult for us to see. We'll see if we can't give you another shot of it. You remember the San Diego State USC game, right? Same thing happened
weeks ago,
but they ruled it an incomplete pass. It cost San Diego State a touchdown.
Another pall of stunned silence falls over Cougar Stadium on the first play, the second play, check that, of the second half. Virginia scores a touchdown on a fumble return.
And it didn't even...
That's a delay of game infraction against the Cavaliers.
Didn't even have a chance to come out and take a deep breath, and we already got a touchdown.
Braverman with the extra point attempt now from the 15. That's good. 36-19. One more look at that rather controversial touchdown.
Very difficult to see from there.
A chorus of boos showering down on the men in the striped shirts, but the guys in white will take it. They lead 35-19.
I'm going right by you. Hey, y'all, give me some help. You getting tired? You need some options? All right, come on. Now what? Come on, give me on. Come on. Let's go on. Slow down, baby. Let me kill you out, kill you. Check.
I hate grapes. Green and purple and seedless.
The second half beginning very inauspiciously for the BYU Cougars, much in the same way that it did in the first half of play. Tim Spruill scoring on a fumble recovery from 21 yards out just moments ago before this kick. And let's take one more look at it, Sean. Was it or was it not a good call? Let's judge.
Take a look at this, Mark, right here on the 19-yard line if we got it. Not getting on the monitor there. He didn't. So watch now. Freeze it there. Take a look now. Boom. Not getting it. We're not getting a drawing there, but that's okay. Look where his foot is on the 19-yard line. There it goes. Foot on the 19 now. Freeze. Stop. Look where he is now here. He's on the 18-yard line back here. He threw that ball backwards. That's a fumble, a good call, and a great effort and smart play by the defense to keep it alive there for a touchdown and another momentum switcher. Nice call by the referee. He had the angle and made the good call there.
He's right on it. Horton in motion. On top of the screen, out of the shotgun, Federick scrambles, has a lot of real estate in front of him. Federick run out of bounds at the 43-yard line, and a flag down at the 39. Isabel making the stop. There he is, number 18, who collided with a teammate of his, number 29, Chris Williams.
That is a wicked collision with two guys on the same team.
And defensively, Virginia can't afford any more injuries. They lost 4 starters during their first game against North Carolina this year.
Smart play by Federick. A lot of guys, 7 in the drop. He's smart, has a lot of running room, got back, defensive back turning their back. Now watch this. He's going to get down, and hello. Nice block. That was all started by the BYU offense. Makes a key block on the wideout position to spring and save Federick from the big hit.
3 receivers out to the right, and they come back against the formation to Margin Hooks, and it's incomplete. Good coverage that time by Shenard Newby, the free safety. There is number 20. Don't think 6'1" freshman.
Don't think we give receivers enough credit for blocking. Hooks' effort to come back on the last play and lay the block to save a big hit off Federick, and he's taken 9 or 10 big hits tonight, just constantly getting hit. Hooks does a nice job of making an extra effort and saving the big hit.
Yeah, Margin Hooks is the team's fastest receiver as well, and been kind of silent so far this evening. 2nd down and 10. Inside handoff to Tahi. Breaks the tackle. Nice move. Fahu Tahi still on his feet. Finally wrestled down at the 30-yard line, and a Cougar first down. He's tackled by Evans. A big pickup on the play.
Couple things to look for here is look at the push at the line of scrimmage in the interior. Take a look at this. Now watch the good vision. Nice kick out block. Boom. Good cut. Now I want you to watch number 5. Everybody a body on a body. Watch Pittman, number 5, down the field. Effort. Staying on his block. He doesn't have to do much. You don't have to cut. The guy just stay in front of him. Allow your back to cut off. Everybody there doing their job to make the play for BYU.
As he pointed out earlier, good downfield blocking by the wideouts. Now they go up top. Has a man. Touchdown, Hooks. Margin Hooks, number 14, victimizing Jermaine Lazon.
That's how you get rewarded. A couple plays earlier, Hooks comes back, makes a great block to take the hit off Federick. What's he do? You get a little man coverage outside. Let me throw you a little pitch and catch for the touchdown. Rewards him with a touchdown pass and a nice catch.
Was it 3 plays ago I said he was a little silent? Well, his game's doing the talking now. Potchman with the extra point. And this one, not an adventure, as BYU slices into that Cavalier lead, cutting it down to 9, courtesy of Federick and Hooks. We'll be right back.
Hey, I'm at the hottest club in Chicago.
106 yards receiving a game.
He may only be small in stature at 6 foot, but he's big in heart and battle. Kevin Federick rewarding Hooks with the touchdown pass. Threw it where only his guy could get it. Right on the money. You can't throw it any better than that. Hooks with the catch and a touchdown.
Hooks with his 2nd touchdown of the season. Potchman kicking off. Arlen Harris and Tavon Mason back deep. The Cougars striking quickly on that last drive. This is Harris. Out out over the 23-yard line. Let's go back to the studio with Reese Davis.
Mark, Oregon and SC, A.J. Feely, touchy, Inye-Nuwamu, 1 yard out. We are tied at 10 in the second quarter, and New Mexico State trying to stay unbeaten. Facing UTEP, it's now 30-23. Casey Insminger just scored a touchdown. That will be Casey and his Sunshine Band down by 7.
All right, Reese, if it is Casey and the Sunshine Band, it's time to get down tonight then.
I like the touchy-feely.
Things getting a little touchy-feely for the Cavaliers here, Sean. Thomas Jones on first down and 10, gains about 3.5. Out over the 26 to the 27-yard line. And Okodi making the stop that time, number 56 for BYU. If you're just joining us, the Brigham Young Cougars playing without their All-American candidate, Rob Morris, number 44, who is injured and out of this game with a lower abdomen injury. Jeff Poultry, his backup, suffered a concussion in the early going. He is also not in. Second down, a little play fake. Ellis complete to the fullback, Anthony Southern. He already has a touchdown receiving tonight on a similar type of play. Josh Lowe making the tackle.
Nice tackle, but a nice call, a little misdirection. Getting the ball out in the flat to Southern, who's had a couple, like you said, a couple of really good blocks. Been out there. Fullbacks usually unheralded, don't get a lot of credit. But I'll tell you what, very nice throw by Ellis. There's Morris on the sideline, wishes he was in there making hits. I'm impressed with offensive coordinator Gary Tranquil's ability to call plays, moving the pocket, moving things around for Virginia.
I was looking forward to blowing my Rob Morris whistle as well tonight. I guess I won't have a chance to. This is Thomas Jones getting his number called quite a bit this evening. Jones has already totaled over 150 yards rushing, pushed out of bounds that time at the 46-yard line, a pickup of 19 on the play. Edwards finally making the stop.
Take a look now. We got quickness here. Learns how to bounce, but watch the right side of your screen, left side of the Virginia line. Once again, caving bodies down inside, allowing Jones to make the kick out and run outside, setting people up. Oh, there's a little stutter. BYU mentioned him as got some Barry Sanders in him. High praise. But I'll tell you what, he's answering that call with all these yards tonight. Nice move and nice run.
First down and 10 as a result. Coffee in motion. Jones again right up the middle. The lead play out near the 40-yard line. Virginia, you would think, Sean, looking to get a little semblance of offensive rhythm right now.
Just remember the first drive in the first half. They drove it all the way down the field, 80 yards to the touchdown. BYU got back into the game late in the second half, in the second quarter, and Virginia coming out here again, making big plays early on here in the third quarter and moving the football. And Tranquil's kept them off balance, and I'm impressed with the big 5 guys up front for Virginia that are creating new line of scrimmage for Thomas Jones to run in.
Offensive line with 3 returning starters from a year ago. There's Jones, that time stopped up. The Cougar defense getting a little penetration led by Dustin Ian, number 47. They'll set up a 3rd down and 7 for the Cavaliers.
BYU's based on quickness. If you beat them to the punch, look at they get down low, and they're the ones who get in the backfield. Now, if you don't let Jones get going, and you make him have to change his vision quickly and not get going to the line of scrimmage, you got a chance. BYU wins that battle. It's 3rd and long now. Virginia doesn't want this situation too much.
And the crowd coming alive here at Cougar Stadium. Ellis with time, complete to his fullback, Anthony Southern, who has been an important cog in that offensive wheel tonight. First down, Cavs.
Dan Ellis getting a chance this year, played behind Aaron Brooks, who was a very good player at Virginia. Take a look at his patience, looking downfield, holding people so they can't squat on it. Boom. Just a nice dump-off route and a little angle route to Southern underneath. And those are big plays. You're in 3rd and 7. You move the chains with the dump-off to your fullback. Very nice. I like the way he kept his eyes down the field until the last second to dump it off so linebackers couldn't jump Southern.
Mason in motion. The give is to Jones, and TJ takes it down to the 25-yard line. Back to the studio with Reese Davis. Reese.
Mark, we've seen a lot of end-to-end action today. We've had 99 and 98-yard touchdown passes, 94-yard punt return, and UNLV-Utah game. Lenny Ware getting loose and turning on the Jets. He's gone. 97 yards. He takes it back for John Robinson, but it's the only touchdown the running Rebels have. Down by 17 to the Utes.
All right, you know, John Robinson's team off to a pretty good start there out in the desert, huh?
Tell you what, he makes UNLV win 7 games. He's going to be the king in Las Vegas.
Last year.
That's right.
2nd down and 3. Jones tried to cut back, stayed on his feet miraculously, and is brought down at the 24-yard line. It'll set up 3rd down and about 2 to go. Frisch and Lee making the stop for BYU.
Coming into this football game, if you're Virginia, here's the situations you're trying to create. Not 2nd and 7 or 3rd and 7 or 3rd and 8 or 3rd and 10. You want 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3 because you can run it or throw it now.
Thomas Jones brought down from behind. Golly with the stop. And it'll be 4th down for Virginia. A big defensive play by number 99.
Gave Jones no chance to get his legs moving. He likes to see that vision, get the ball deep so he can have a chance to cut back or work or bounce it outside. Golly, jumping through there. Nice quickness by BYU. That's what they thrive on, is quickness to the ball carrier.
Braverman
field goal.
In to attempt the field goal, Sean, from 45 yards out. And this one is good. Braverman increases that Cavalier lead to 38-26. Braverman now 3 of 4 on the season, and a big one coming right there. Well, folks, don't forget ESPN College Football continues game day Saturday at 11 a.m. Join Chris Fowler, Lee Corso, Kirk Herbstreit for the authoritative voice of college football and the #1 studio show. And that's 12:30 then. It's Purdue against Michigan, and 7:30 Alabama against Florida or LSU at Georgia. More log on to ESPN.com, part of the Go Network, go.com.
Mark, coming into this game, BYU felt that the weakness of Virginia's defense was in the secondary, that they could attack the secondary. And aside from the big home run we saw to Hooks last series, Virginia's done a really nice job of keeping the ball at least in front of them. Staley's broke some tackles and made some plays. They've done a nice job of keeping it in front of them. And on the other hand, Virginia's offense now, when BYU's blitzed them on 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9, Ellis has stood in there, thrown to the proper hot guy, and got 2 touchdowns on BYU blitzes where he's thrown the guy to the adjustment to the right man, and they broke tackles. So its offense is Virginia's offense doing a nice job, and Virginia's defense keeping receivers in front of them other than the last series.
It was big for the offense to put some points on the board after that BYU score to answer. Green's kick out of the end zone. The Cougars will start on their own 20-yard line.
Think we've seen the last of the scoring tonight?
No. Only 9:11 to go here in the 3rd quarter. And there may have been a late flag. And it's against the Virginia Cavaliers.
Moving back 5 yards, so instead of kicking it into the stands, he can kick it 10 yards deep.
Got helium on those footballs today or what? Man. As we mentioned, the altitude certainly a factor. Not to discredit the leg strength of our respective kickers today. Virginia leading 38-26. George Welsh with quite a bit of success against BYU. He's 2-0 all time against the Cougars, 1-0 at Navy, and 1-0 while at Virginia. George Welsh and Lavelle Edwards, 2 guys, Sean, who, you know, they're smiling inside. They just haven't told their faces yet.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And 2 guys that if you're a recruit going to one of these universities, you know a couple things. That, hey, these guys are going to be around, and they're going to be loyal and honest to you. And on the BYU side, I mean, Lavelle, we kidded about it earlier about the capologist in the NFL and the scholarshipologist at BYU with all the missions and coming and going and the scholarship. And Lavelle made an interesting point yesterday, talking about that they know the 85 scholarships, and they only have every year 71 to 73 guys. Because of the mission situation, they never really get their 85 scholarships. They're about 13, 14 guys shy.
And it's interesting how he also said, you know, it's funny how when they win, people say they win because they have older, more mature players because of the mission, but it's never a factor when they lose. Huh?
That's right.
In all fairness to Mr. Edwards, racked up an impressive record over the years.
2 great head coaches in this football game tonight, and 2 good men.
Dabney back deep for the Cougars as they do it again. This one 5 yards deep. He'll take it out. Dabney finds a seam. and is finally pushed out at the 30-yard line. A 35-yard kickoff return. Defensively, Virginia has done a respectable job, pretty good job, you would think, today. Rick Lance, the defensive coordinator, and Rick certainly coaching with a heavy heart today. His brother Ken passed away a few days ago as a result of injuries suffered through a motorcycle accident on his way to Clemson. He's going to watch their game, and all of us here at ESPN and ABC, our college football family, send our condolences out to Rick and his family.
Yeah, it's, I mean, your perspective is added. He's coming here coaching and lost his brother, and that's tough to come out here and do it. And the guy's doing his job tonight. But best wishes to his family and to coach tonight. And, it's amazing how you go through that and still get your team ready to play.
Yeah. Puts it all in perspective. Always seems to. Tuaya making the reception that time. Look at BYU's possessions. The first 4, a couple of picks, one of them going for a touchdown, and 2 punts. One of them led to a touchdown, and then the last 5, they've been very productive.
If you're Virginia, that's why this a 12-point lead is not exactly safe with BYU, and as much as they throw the ball and doing well on their last 5 possessions, and they just keep battling. This is one of those games that they get close when Virginia BYU ever has the ball last in this football game.
Staley and Tuaya in the backfield. This is Luke, chopped down at the 45-yard line by Evans. Evans making the start at free safety because Antoine Harris of Virginia did not make the trip. It'll be first down and 10. There's a look at Evans. Had a pick earlier today.
You made the point on Staley. You asked him yesterday about his knee injury. You know, the knee injury that he had, the scar.
Right.
He said he's actually faster now and stronger now than he was before the injury.
Yeah, remind me to get his doctor's name.
And he went off the sideline on that last little stunt. He's on the sidelines. He may be hurt. I'll have to look over at Staley and see what happened on the tackle last time.
7:50 to play in the 3rd period. Virginia coming with a blitz. Federick unloads, has hooks. Hooks down to the 7-yard line. Another big one. Lazon and Williams finally corralling him at the 7.
That's a way to keep a play alive. That's a receiver not quitting. That's a quarterback battling, getting the ball out there. Virginia's done a nice job all night, except the last 2 possessions now. Hooks catches the 30-yard touchdown last series. This series gets beyond the secondary. They've kept everything in front of them most of the time tonight, but breaking down, and Federick being able to keep it alive, throwing off balance, taking another hit, but puts enough air on the ball to a wide open Hooks. Moving chains, and hey, they're in scoring position again.
Sataki, the lone back. Federick has plenty of time. Now he's flushed out. Incomplete, intended for Jonathan Pittman in the end zone. Coverage that time by number 21, Tim Spruill. Spruill's played well today. Has an interception to go along with a couple of tackles and broken up passes. It'll be 2nd down and goal. Federick, meanwhile, 18 of 32, Sean. 205 yards passing, 1 touchdown and 2 interceptions.
Not the typical gaudy stats that he's had in the past, but still, I mean, a lot of quarterbacks would love to have those numbers, but this is an off night for them. But what they're doing at BYU and playing against a good Virginia team, they keep battling, keeping things alive, and Federick on the last play throws it away, which was a smart decision. Re-tee it for 2nd down.
2nd and goal from the 8. Intended for Horton. Touchdown, Cougars. They call number 88 Hollywood, as he is affectionately known to his teammates. Hollywood looking good on that one. Okay. Lead down to 38 to 33 now. Took that 32. Flag down, though. Ben Hollywood Horton bringing the BYU Cougars that much closer. We'll be right back. Under the auspices of a full moon, and you get the feeling that this one could be another chapter of it.
Don't blink or don't go to the go to the kitchen yet, because you'll miss a touchdown.
Federick to Horton, capping a 5-play, 70-yard drive by the BYU Cougars, and they have cut this margin. I'm not talking about hooks, to just 5 points. Kochman kicking off to number 23, Arlen Harris, and Tavon Mason. Out of the end zone it goes, and Virginia will start off on its own 20-yard line. One more look at Horton's touchdown catch.
Take a look at this. He's the inside slot receiver here. Going to just run up, stab him, run a quick corner route. And Federick's going to flatten him with the football, make a nice high-arcing throw. Defensive back has no chance. Nice throw. Pitch and catch. It's like you do in the schoolyard, but a good route. Horton to stab the DB and freeze him a bit. Then to run his corner, and Federick makes a nice toss. Not too high, not too low. Just nice arc on the football for the catch and the score. Gets BYU within 5.
And we haven't talked about the fact that BYU has kind of had some wrinkles to its offense. More to that shotgun. They studied the Tulane coaching system offensively, and it's really helped so far. We'll talk about that a little bit later. First down and 10 right now, though, for Virginia. Still leading by 5, and they go to their go-to back. Thomas Jones takes it out to the 25-yard line, approaching the 200-yard mark rushing today. Denny making the tackle for the Cougars.
Virginia's doing a nice job. They had to win first down, in my opinion, for them to win tonight. And in order, when you win first down, that's between 4 and 5 yards. Because you're in second down and third down in middle to short range. Now you dictate the flow of the game. 5 yards there, now it's a Virginia advantage. And they've done it tonight a lot.
Courtesy of number 6 and number 25. Play fake. This one will come back, whatever happens. There's a flag down. The catch made by Kevin Coffey. But there was a clip just as Ellis released the football. Billy Baber made the catch. Actually, it's going to be on Baber. So it's all for 9. Sean, I want to ask you this. Do you think Virginia can win a high-scoring game, a shootout like that?
Well, I would have thought that if Virginia was having to play catch-up against BYU, where they were the ones chasing down 21, down 14, I would have said no.
Holding on the offense, 10 yards from the previous foul. Replays it down.
But because they're here, here's the holding call. A little bootleg. There he is. You know what? Nice job to try and fake it, but grabs him and prevents a hit on his quarterback. And I'll tell you what, as a quarterback, or a former one, should I say, trying to get out of that pocket, if your guy gets beat like that, I'd rather have him grab him, to be honest with you. You know what, if you know you're going to get beat, your quarterback's going to take a hit, and he would have taken a hit there. Grab him and save the hit on your quarterback and re-tee it. It's just unfortunate at the end of the play ended up being a big play for Virginia's half. But you made the point.
Do they win a shootout?
Yeah, you know what? Because they're winning on first down and Jones is up to 200 yards, yeah, I think that they probably can.
They just get the play off. Ellis fires. They're going to rule it complete at the 18-yard line. He goes right back to Baber.
If they can dictate that flow of the game like they have, Mark, you know, if they're keeping it, if they're going back and forth and they're in the lead, will they still get to run the football? Yeah, I think they can, because he's creating shootout opportunity for Virginia because he's running it. But if they have to throw every down, if they were chasing, I'd say not. But they run the football so well tonight, they're keeping it in middle yardage and short yardage for Ellis in the offense.
The offense consisting mostly of Thomas Jones, who has 183 yards rushing. Third down and long. And it's time to bring the noise here at Cougar Stadium. The catch, and it's going to be close for the first down. Complete to number 80, Ahmad Hawkins, right near the 30, brought down by Robertson. And what kind of spot did they give him? Edwards doing a little posturing with the officials there on the sidelines. And all it takes from him is a look.
What have to say about Drew Lavelle? The new 5-year deal he just got. And, you know, Mark, we talked to him yesterday. He was quite taken aback by the way that the speculation of some of the media about the fact that they were looking for his replacement.
Yeah, it really kind of rubbed him the wrong way. And it's not really fair to the recruiting efforts and the coaching
or to his own coaching staff. And here's a guy, hey, has he been successful? And, you know, we talking to BYU. I mean, here's a guy who's going to go out when he decides to. He made an interesting point. He said, you know, about the going away party when he announced this last year. He said, oh, no. It's going to be that we're going to come in and I'm going to just announce it that day. Yeah. Not going to be any fanfare or anything, but deserve the 5-year contract.
Sean, they have inches to go. They are 2 of 4 on the season in 4th down conversions.
A lot of guts here.
This one of the defining moments of the game. Ellis keeps it and gets the first down for the Cavaliers. Ellis, a pretty big body at 6'2", 207 pounds.
I used to hate that play.
Why?
Because you always get hit in the head somehow. Maybe I couldn't get down low enough. Got a big old tall and geeky, but I used to hate that. I say, oh no, let me turn and hand it to somebody. But I love the call. Love the fact that George is believing. You know what that tells your offensive line? Say, we believe in you. Go up there. It's going to be man on man, muscle on muscle. You're going to be out. They're going to have 11 guys at the line of scrimmage. Go beat somebody. And he did a nice job. And that takes guts when you're winning by 5 in your own territory against a BYU team here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, 3 of 5 in the season in 4th down conversions. That offensive line, Lawson, Lamontagne, Sinclair, Routson, and Barnes protecting Ellis on this play. He has time. And what a catch by Hawkins. Check that. Dotson, Demetrius Dotson, number 19. Nice adjustment on the ball.
Tell you what, great catch, but what a great throw also. Take a look at this now. Going to push, going to sell a little inside, stutter move, get back outside, which is the way to do it. You run into trouble when you run inside. Ellis fades him perfectly, gets it outside, makes a nice pitch and catch. Instead of running inside to trouble, he faded it back outside, and Ellis kept him fading away from danger. Nice throw, nice catch, and good concentration.
First down and 10, a huge play. This is the backup tailback, Arlen Harris. Brought down at the 32. Let's go downstairs to Nick Lowry.
Well, guys, Jeff Holtry, who backed up Rob Morris, has a grade 1 concussion, so he's out for the rest of the game. He's on the sidelines now in a gray shirt, t-shirt. Looks almost exactly like Rob Morris, actually. And on the other side, number 32, Byron Threet, the Butkus Award candidate. He's got a shoulder stinger. He's going to be out for a while.
The battle of attrition starting to take its toll here in the 3rd period with 3:40 to play. 2nd down and 6, backside of the offset I. Nice run between the tackles down to the 20-yard line. Arlen Harris brought down by Jared Lee. Harris subbing in for Thomas Jones.
Nice good push up front. They've done this a lot. They're giving these backs holes to see. Backs, if you can give them something to see where there's not a blue jersey in the hole, they can cut off it. When you see nothing but daylight, that means the offensive line is doing their job. A lot of credit to go to the back, but the O-line pushing.
And 1st down and 10. Harris again hits the corner. Arlen Harris pushed out of bounds at the 7.5-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal for the Cavaliers, so they get right back to their running attack, and they prosper as a result.
Once again, Southern, I want you to watch the fullback on the block here again. He's done it a handful of times tonight. We're going to get him in the screen. He kicks it out. Look at that. Gives a man a hole, kicks him out, allows the back to cut off. And Southern has been around all night getting in people's face, has created big plays, and created a touchdown for Jones earlier tonight on a great block.
1st and goal, backside of the I. Harris still in there, and this is him. Harris maybe got a yard down to the 7. John, it seems like they're having their most success just running a basic ISO and lead play right between the tackles.
And getting a fullback up in there. Watch, look at the credit now. This man here doesn't get very much of a fullback. Every single play, they're going to take on somebody. Look at him, kicks him out again, gets his head in there. These fullbacks take a beating play after play. And you know what? They go over to silence people, pat and say, thanks. Where's that guy who scored the touchdown?
Here they are out of the offset I on 2nd and goal. Little counter, Thomas Jones back in, and he's stuffed up at the 5. It'll be 3rd down and goal. Galley with the stop for the Cougars, number 99.
Called his name a lot tonight, Mark.
Yeah.
Galley's been all over the place, hustling. You think, well, how could he be all over the place? Thomas Jones rushed for almost 200 yards. But he is getting into the backfield and a drop back to pass and running down the line of scrimmage and making some tackles.
Hawkins split wide to the bottom of your screen on 3rd and goal. Open over the middle, touchdown Cavaliers. Billy Baber. He dropped one a week ago on a similar play, and showing confidence in his tight end. Ellis comes right back and hits him on this one.
You got a mismatch on the middle linebacker too. You like that match. You big tight end on the middle linebacker. Remember, they're down to number 3 now. I believe it's DeCoy, if I'm not mistaken, in the middle linebacker there for BYU. Nice job, Ellis, poised and patient down by the goal line. Makes a nice throw.
Ellis, Sean, 13 of 17 after that pass. 168 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. And Billy Baber finds redemption in the shadows of the Wasatch Mountains. A week ago, he wore the goat horns. Right now, he's being measured up for a hero suit. We'll be right back. Dabney back deep for the Cougars. Baber for Virginia with a touchdown catch just moments ago. And the Cougars will take it out to the 20.
Here's the touchdown coming back. Watch the tight end here at your screen on this linebacker who's going to overrun the play. Peeks up inside him, looking at the back out of the backfield, tries to grab him. Nice job. And a lot of people bunched up around the line of scrimmage because they've been running the ball so effectively tonight, trying to cheat to stay away from the big play by the back. Get Baber over the top for the 5-yard touchdown. You said he dropped one just like that last week.
And he dropped actually 2 passes in all last week. So you know that he feels good about making that touchdown catch. First down and 10 for BYU, 45-33 as we approach the end of the 3rd period. They set up the receiver screen, and Hooks couldn't hang on to it. It's incomplete. We may have seen a little traffic coming his way too, Sean.
Yes, sir.
And he's 2nd down and 10. Wheat was there.
When you get a guy squatting on a screenplay, that's danger waiting to happen. Key for Virginia also, hitting your quarterback all night if you've got a chance at Federick. And that's we're into the teens now, as many times, not sacks wise, a lot of hurries, but I'll tell you what, a lot of hits, and when the quarterback's on the ground, starts to take its toll. That's 14 of them now on Federick tonight.
Federick, not what you would consider a big guy. 6 foot, 200 pounds. He's listed at 200. Looks a little slighter than that. Has time and delivers. Still waiting for a signal from the official. Now they say it's incomplete at the 35-yard line, intended for Horton. Much to the dismay of number 88.
Hit number 15 on the quarterback. Virginia wanted to do this, coming off the edge here, holding the football, trying to make something happen. Boom, and now, boy, had about 2.5 steps to the quarterback. You could have thrown a flag on that also, but they're doing what they want to do. Keep pounding him. 2 hurries, 15 hits. But I'll tell you, he's still standing. You said 200 pounds, that might be a little overboard. Yeah, about 20 pounds worth. Tough guy, though, continuing to play.
1:35 to play in the 3rd period. Federick, and make that another hit. A sack by Lubomir Stamenic, number 91. Made his first career start a couple of games ago against North Carolina, and has it continued to improve.
Hey, Mark, you can give me Steve Young, Troy Aikman, Brett Favre, 3 of the toughest quarterbacks that'll stand in there and take a hit as anybody we've ever seen. But I'll tell you, even those guys at 15, 16, 17 hits, that's 15-3 on this series alone on the quarterback. You start to wear down. And you start to throw the ball prematurely, and that'll start to hurt an offense and a quarterback.
Under a minute to play now in the 3rd. Soward punting to Harris. This one's returnable. Harris at the 44. Got a great block at midfield. Still on his feet. Harris giving Virginia good field position, taking it all the way back to the 34-yard line. And don't forget, hey, coming up, it's that time. National Hockey Night, Friday at 7:30. Pittsburgh against Dallas as Pittsburgh kicks off a new era, the Mario Lemieux era as owner. And Dallas and Brett Hull open up defense of their Stanley Cup, the first of over 130 games on ESPN and ESPN2. For more, log on to ESPN.com, part of the Go Network, go.com.
Are we really hockey season already again?
Already. Oh, boy.
Should be fun, though. Interesting to see how Mario Lemieux does for those Pittsburgh matches.
Doing it from a player's perspective, and number 6 certainly is a player. That is Thomas Jones. once again just running that simple ISO play, picking up about 5.
Winning again on first down. I mean, we could sit here and beat a dead horse, but the truth of the matter is that's how they had to win. Hitting the quarterback for hitting your defense, hitting the quarterback on BYU Frederick, and coming in here and winning on first down. You do that, you got a chance. There you see. Take a look at the numbers tonight in the passing game. BYU basically cut in half here as we head to the bottom of the third quarter here.
Harris now the deep back. Little counter, and he's brought down for a loss of about 3 by Fina. Took that in him. One of the few negative rushing plays for Virginia tonight. And that'll be the last play of the third quarter. The Virginia Cavaliers out of the ACC leading the Mountain West BYU Cougars by 12 when we come back. Ball at the 32-yard line. Let's go downstairs to Nick Lowry.
Well, guys, Ford Poston, the right tackle for BYU, came limping off the field, had a badly twisted ankle. Just a tough guy. Trainer just taped him up in black tape, and he's going back out again. But he's still limping.
He's a throwback. And Harris is brought down behind the line of scrimmage at the 35. There's a look at Poston.
That's what happens on third down when you're in long yardage situations. Defense wins that battle. Here we go. Look at this. Time of possession. 12 more minutes. That's almost a full quarter for for Virginia over BYU. 29 times here tonight when they've got the ball on first down. The distributions with 25 runs and 4 passes for Virginia. I'd say they're winning on first down tonight, Mike.
Oh, no doubt. And to attempt the field goal from 52 yards out is Braverman. He didn't get it there. BYU will take over near the 35-yard line. Thursday night, it's ESPN football game night, presented by Gateway at 7:30, followed by Maryland against number 3.
Leroy Corso in the booth. They're doing a good job on their Thursday night telecast. Having some fun, too, aren't they?
They've been here twice. They could apply for state residency.
We're just filling their booth now.
I believe they've been here, and people are still talking to us. A couple of nice moves at the 40-yard line by Horton. And he has a first down. Anderson making the tackle.
I need my man Lee Corso's hats. You know, I don't have the good love that those hats give Lee. These guys have done a great job on Thursday nights and just clearing the way for us to come in here to BYU in Provo, and they've been great hosts here for us.
2nd down and 2. Federick at the helm. This is the tailback, Tahi. And Tahi has the first down at the 49-yard line. Just the second play of the fourth quarter. BYU trailing by 12.
So you want to be a quarterback, Mark? Take a look at this. Under pressure, these are the hits on Federick. There's one. How about another? Yeah, hold it. We'll hit you again, and then hit you on the ground. So that's really 2 and 1. And then the pat on the helmet, which we don't want to hit you on the helmet. That's a hit, too. 15 of those tonight on this tough quarterback.
Still pitching it. Make that 16. Sacked back at the 45-yard line by Staminich, number 91. And Federick will get up off the turf again and call the next play. I had a great visit with Kevin Federick's mother this morning in the concierge room, and she said, Mark, you'll be able to spot me. I'll be the one that's sipping Maalox out of a straw. Well, right now, Mrs. Federick, you might want to supersize that Maalox. Under 13 minutes to go. Complete pass to Nuno, the tight end. Near the first down marker at the 37-yard line, tackled by Crow.
This is one of the few teams in America who can take a 2nd, 12-second, 13 and make it look like it's 2nd and 2. They make it look so easy and nice, and their tight ends are supposed to be run blockers, and they've had a couple big catches tonight in this no-huddle offense trying to move the football quickly in the fourth quarter.
Catches by Nuno and Ofahunga. Ofahunga on that last one. Handed off. Huge gaping hole at the middle. Sataki still on his feet. Down to the 19. Delani Sataki out of Kirkwood, Missouri with a first down.
Take it. They came down the nose tackle, give him nice vision into the hole. He eludes the referee there to make a play. Gets into the secondary, bumping him off like a pinball. Nice job. Nice movement. Both sides of the line, when they've had to run the football in key situations, have moved people up front.
First down and 10 out of the shotgun. They bring a blitz. Federick got rid of it just before he got nailed. Margin Hooks made the catch at the 16-yard line. Welcome, everyone, to Cougar Stadium on a beautiful late summer evening here in Provo, Utah. I'm Mark Jones along with Sean Salisbury. Nick Lowry down at the sidelines. BYU in the blue, in the white, the University of Virginia. And so far, it's been a story of two different games. Virginia dominating in the first half, BYU coming on late in that first half, and now this game separated by just 12 points. And tripped up right near the line of scrimmage is Sataki.
You're going to get a holding call. Got beat quickly, grabbed a little bit of some ankle and some leg. You're going to get a holding call. You did it right there in front of the, I believe it was the line judge. Can't do that. He's going to make the call and throw that flag on you. If you're going to hold, make sure you don't do it in front of somebody.
On the offense. That'll be a 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. We'll replay the nail.
You know, Sean, we haven't seen Coach Edwards' prize recruit, Lucas Staley, in a while. I wonder if he's injured.
Well, he went off the field. You remember he got hurt in the third quarter going the other way. Made a play, came out of there and got hurt and kind of hustled off the field. And we haven't heard from him since or seen him, so there must be something going on. We'll try to get a report on that.
Yeah, Tahi, Sataki, and Atuaya sharing the backfield duties as a result. Federick completes the pass down to the 19-yard line. That's Horton, number 88, who has a touchdown reception already today. Moving it downfield with 11:19 to play. Isabel making the tackle for Virginia. BYU looking to go 3-0 for the first time since 1993. And they have won 8 consecutive home games here at Cougar Stadium. Third down and 10 from the 19. Federick escapes. Touchdown! What a catch by Nuno! What should have been an interception for Virginia turns into 6 points for BYU. Pochman in for the extra point. And we said it was a full moon, and strange things will happen. Federick takes the hit, but Nuno, reliable, resourceful at the other end. Through the hands of the defender. 6 points for the Cougars. We'll be right back.
Draft beer is an extension of the brewery brought to you, and what I mean by that is beer in its most perfect condition. It's actually beer from a finishing tank at the brewery that is put into a keg. It's then kept refrigerated all the way to your local bar or restaurant. The result is a taste and a drinkability you'll find in no other beer. Draft beer is beer at its best, and there's nothing better than an ice-cold Budweiser Draft.
Tonight, we had the
Cougars have never led in this ball game. They trail by 5 as they get set to kick off. Owen Pochman kicking deep to Harrison Mason. One day I'll come to BYU and see a kickoff return, Sean Salisbury. Let's go downstairs to Nick Lowry.
Okay, guys, Luke Staley, I'm standing next to, just got back to the locker room. He thought he had a separated shoulder. They checked it. He had a mild subluxation. They adjusted it, popped it back in, and he's probably going back in. He just told Federick that he's going back in.
They can use him, that's for sure.
Yeah, just pop a shoulder back in, come out and play a little football. Little touch, little tag.
Look at that last BYU scoring drive. Federick, impressive 5 for 5 during that span. But each and every time Virginia seemed to be on the brink, they have answered. Ellis with a waggle. Complete. But there's a flag down. Demetrius Dotson with the first down. If it stands, Edwards making the tackle.
That flag's either offsides or holding.
And this one goes against the defense. So the first down will stand. Demetrius Dotson.
Offside on the defense. Penalty is refused. First down.
See a flag by the line judge. You're either going to get offsides or procedure or holding call. Mark, get a load of this, though, with this score now at 45-40 Virginia. You remember there was a time in the first quarter it was like 150 or 160 total yards to 6 for BYU. Well, Virginia 384 yards, BYU 394 before that play.
Ellis handing it off. And Jones brought down. Tackled by Josh Lowe, number 51. A look at the quarterback comparison. Ellis, very efficient, 14 of 18. Federick has pitched it 40 times so far.
And we're far from over here. That number will probably creep more towards 60 before it's over. But I am impressed with Ellis and how he's handled the blitz and been very poised in the pocket tonight and made nice, accurate throws.
Out of the shotgun has time. Tries to cut it upfield. Lost it out of bounds at the 46-yard line. Number 72, Hans Olsen. And Ina making the stop on Ellis. Little fact-finding mission right now. Did you know the Virginia Cavaliers football program began in 1888? They played 1,071 games. This one, though, the first in the Mountain Time Zone and the first game in Utah.
I have a hunch the way they played tonight, they won't mind coming back.
Put some points on the board.
This is a good football game by two really well-coached and disciplined football teams.
3rd and 6. Ellis with time. Has his receiver flagged down. First down if it stands. Ahmad Hawkins, number 80, working on Shimu Robertson.
Robertson providing the coverage for BYU.
The flag in the area right where Hawkins made the catch. It's against the defense. So the first down stands.
Take a look at this now. Here's how you know a quarterback's getting a good feel for the game. I want you to watch his head, how it scans the entire field. Looks to his right. Look at him staring, stares to the middle of the field, comes all the way back left on a deep comeback route, throws it high and outside for the completion where the DB has no chance. That's when you know a quarterback is starting to settle in to his game as they're early into the season, making good decisions. He starts way right, scans the entire football field, and comes to the deep outside comeback route and makes a nice, accurate throw. Dan Ellis has impressed me tonight with his poise in the pocket, not moving his feet and panicking.
Yeah, Sean, you could clearly see him going through his progressions that time.
Use the entire field. When you don't have to cut a field in half for a quarterback, a lot of young quarterbacks, they'll say, well, just work this side of the field. You limit your football team. Ellis stands back there, really, really poised, uses the whole field. You could clearly see his head scan the entire field. I'm impressed with his play tonight.
Look at the first down comparisons. Virginia with 24, BYU with 20, and getting back to Ellis. He and Don Mikowski are the only true freshmen ever to play quarterback during George Welch's tenure at Virginia. And continuing to grow, going up top here, had a man. That was Kevin Coffey and overthrew him. Brian Gray, the All-American, who has a touchdown on an interception tonight, in on the coverage for BYU.
That's never an easy throw for a quarterback. A lot of times the guy's open. You want to gun it in there. I think Dan there would probably like to have that back and put a little more air on it because there's more room for error when there's more air on the ball. Even if you underthrow it, your guy can get it. If you start to overthrow it, the guy has a chance to with catch-up speed. When you throw a line drive trying to hit a home run, the ball has to be dropped in there perfectly because there's no room for error. He'd like to have that back, but he's battled back all night tonight.
2nd down and 10. Single back set. And they give it to Southern, the fullback. It was brought down at the 44-yard line. It'll be 3rd down, about 9 to go. Olsen making the tackle. Sean, just a minute ago, you talked about the overthrow by Ellis. We talked about kicking. What about throwing? Does the altitude have an effect? Yes, no, maybe?
On balls down the field, a little more. On balls down the field, when there's a little air on the ball down the field, it does, but not as much as a kick because it goes a lot higher on a punt or a kick.
3rd down and 9. They converted last time. Let's see what the Cavaliers do here. Brought down from behind. Tremendous pursuit defensively from Tyson Smith, number 23. And they're short of the 1st down at the 42. Good job in the secondary that time by BYU.
This is a coverage tackle. Look at all the time he has. Sealing off the inside, allowing him to step up. But what you got to love here, look at the effort. Watch all the blue jerseys start to come into the screen here. It's called swarming to the football. Not giving up, going after him. 5-6 jerseys in the screen there when Ellis broke the pocket. Good hustle by the BYU defense.
Donnie Scott punting, standing us on 45. Aims for the corner. And it will be marked in the vicinity of the 10-yard line. They're going to say the 11. A 31-yard punt, but the yardage not the point here. The fact that they put it inside the 20. BYU with the ball, trailing by 5. They have never led. They might, but they're going to try when we come back. By 5, downstairs now to Nick Lowry.
Hey, you guys, you know, Mark and Sean were giving me crap about my hair. Well, it's windy. In fact, wind affected that last interception. Wind affected that field goal. And in the last 10 minutes, you got about a 35-mile-an-hour wind that came out of nowhere that's pushing straight down the field. It's going to affect every pass and every kick.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Nick. And as you mentioned, that the wind seems to be to the back of the BYU Cougars right now, favoring them. Dabney getting the carry here. With his first carry and rush of the ball game out to the 16-yard line. Dabney, a 5'9", 180-pound sophomore, brought down by Shannon Taylor, number 9.
That time of possession is going to change a little bit. Get a load of this. We were talking about, you and I off camera, you were off the air. We're talking about Jones and the number of carries, and haven't seen enough of him in the second half. First half, 21 carries for 148 yards. Second half, 11 carries for 43 yards. BYU's getting the ball too much here in the second half to Virginia's liking.
BYU does not like to lose at home. You just saw that graphic. 18-2 over the last 20. Federick has plenty of time. Finds Atuaya, the fullback. A 1st down out to the 30-yard line. Time now becoming a factor. 7:18 to play in the 4th quarter. Taylor making the tackle for Virginia.
You guys at home are seeing some very good quarterback play on both sides of the ball. You're seeing patient quarterback play and quarterbacks who understand where to throw the football. Nobody open down the field, little dump off. That's a big play. That's chunk yards in the 4th quarter, which you got to get. That's not forcing it down the field. You're getting Ellis on the Virginia side and Federick on the offensive side. Take a look at the total yards. BYU is now past Virginia, which early in this game you said no way that was going to happen.
And as Nick Lowry noted, Staley was set to come back into the game, and he is in. Federick hits his target, the tight end, Nuno. And a late flag.
Mark, you talked about, as we wait on the flag here, mentioning Thomas Jones here at national TV, averaging 140 yards a game almost. Why isn't his name mentioned for the Heisman Trophy? Well, don't we got to start bantering about Kevin Federick, too?
It's about that time.
I mean, 500 yards in the first game, comes back with 3+ last week, 2-0 on the season. And look at this. He hasn't had great stats tonight, but isn't the sign of a great player? Type of guy who can continue to battle you when he's not having his best game and keep his team in it. You got to start throwing his name around as one of those top quarterbacks in this country.
Yeah, it sure is.
Aside from the fact that he leads the nation in total offense coming into the
numbers
game.
help.
Yeah. And I look beyond the numbers. I look at a guy, what he means to a football team and how gutty he is. And both these quarterbacks are much better.
Personal foul. 15 yards. Automatic 1st down.
Boy, that really hurts Virginia.
Federick playing gutty and putting on. Check this out now. What's the end of this play? Boom. Yeah, coming in out of nowhere. He wasn't even in your screen. That's a late hit. Can't throw your helmet, your body in there and spear a man down on the ground.
That was Staminich, number 91 for Virginia.
Plus the injury. That's dangerous because you're not protected there, Mark.
Hey, next Saturday at 11 a.m., join Chris Fowler, analyst Lee Corso, Herb Street, College Football Studio Show.
Aaron Madison. and beats on Wisconsin today. Huge. Purdue comes from behind to win today. Drew Brees at it again. That's a good win. And you fans out there that think that this is just Michigan, and they're a good football team to go on the road and win there at Camp Randall. Don't be so Drew Brees. They do something different in the Big Ten out there. They spread it out, and that's talking about good quarterbacks. He's pretty good.
Big 99-yard touchdown pass for him today. First down and 10. BYU on Virginia's side of midfield. Frederick with all day finally just throws this one away. Looked at Jonathan Pittman once, looked back twice, and finally said, you know what? Let's start it all over again.
And that's a win. I love a quarterback that'll say, I can get you on second or third down. People at home or some people in the stands get frustrated when a quarterback throws it away. But you know what? That's the smartest decision he could have made. Didn't have a guy. They did a nice job of covering that, the swing back out of the backfield, throws it away, and he feels that, hey, I got 2 downs to make 10 yards. We're good enough to move the football. That's a very, very good decision by a quarterback, understanding what the down and distance and the game situation is.
Second down and 10. Virginia coming with a blitz. And Sitake still on his feet. Broke a couple of tackles. Battles down to the 43-yard line. He'll be about 6 yards short of a first down. They're going to call it 3rd and 7, actually. Thweet making the stop, number 32 for Virginia. Thweet, the lone returning starter at linebacker for the Cavaliers, a 3-year starter. Made 99 tackles a year ago and off to a bit of a slow start this season. He suffered a stinger earlier in this game.
You ever wondered what a stinger is?
Don't want one. Frederick to pass. Under pressure, just got rid of it and makes the completion at the 37-yard line to his tight end, Afahunga. And it's a little bit short, Sean, of the first down.
Why not? Hey, why not?
Did you go?
Why not? Hey, with 5 minutes to go and Virginia's moved the ball well tonight, why not? So is BYU. Frederick, that's another hit on the quarterback. We're inching towards 20 hits on the quarterback tonight. And man alive, you'd think that a guy who's really 6 foot and about 185, am I right, Mark?
At the most.
200 pounds,
at the most.
and continues to stand in there. Forget the numbers, people. You're watching a great effort on 2 quarterbacks. And Frederick, who's taken about 20 hits tonight. And we'll give you that graphic here shortly about how many he's taken exactly. It's right around there.
Just get the play off 4th and 2, and they get the first down. Ofahunga, the tight end, brought down by Anderson, but they move the chains and retain possession. First down and 10 Cougars. They have never led.
Here's the replay. Nice job. Just get it off. High percentage play. You body the tight end with the football. And that's exactly what Frederick does. Hits him between the 9 and the 1. Gives him a chance to run after the catch. Look at this now. We talked to BYU players yesterday telling Norm Chow, great call. And this is a man who's fired. They said leader is the way this guy is. And he's playing like it.
First and 10. Staley on the inside handoff, brought down right near the line of scrimmage. And in our meetings with the Virginia players yesterday, especially Frederick and BYU players, they seemed a little hacked off about some of the chatter, some of the yang that Virginia players may have said that had somehow gotten back to them. You get the feeling that there were some things on the locker room board for BYU that was a motivating factor for them today.
Especially when BYU playing at home and say, wait a minute, this is our house, somebody's going to come in here. And 4 out of their first 5 games are at home, so a good schedule for BYU. But man alive, there's some toughness going on out here tonight. This is a great football game.
Frederick to pass again. Tracked down and brought down to the 32-yard line by Shannon Taylor from his strong side linebacker position. Taylor, the 6'3" senior, one of the real surprises on the defensive unit this season.
Battling. Offensive line does a nice job. I'd say that they got a little push on the defensive front, is in the tune of pushing that man out of the way by about 8 yards and getting to the quarterback. That's a frustrated team that hasn't been able to get to Frederick sack-wise a lot tonight and finally get to him. But 3rd and 13 now.
They've got to get to the 19-yard line for the first down, and Frederick uses a timeout. They have 2 remaining after this. Virginia still with its full complement of 3. A pensive-looking head coach Lavelle Edwards thinking about his next button to press. We'll be right back. BYU facing 3rd down and long. Let's go downstairs to Nick Lowry.
Guys, Carlos Nuno told me that he was pushing off, trying to cut off his left knee at precisely the moment that the linebacker hit him, and it gave way. He's got a knee sprain. He's out the rest of the game, but we think it's not going to require an operation, which is good news.
All right, thanks a lot, Nick. Vahungau then moves up into the number 1 tight end spot. And surprisingly, well, to me anyway, they've made a lot of use out of their tight ends tonight, John, more than you used to see.
You're exactly right. Norm Chow told us yesterday, the play caller for BYU, that this is a football team that in the past they've relied on the tight end to catch balls, and this year they've got 2 good blocking tight ends, but tonight they've made some huge plays in keeping drives alive with their hands instead of with their feet and their big bodies.
3rd down and 13 for BYU. 3 receivers out to the top of your screen. Westbrook split to the bottom of your screen. Federick lobs it up. And it's picked off by the Cavaliers. Number 49, Jermaine Lazan. And there's a flag down on the play.
Smart move by Federick just to throw it up, knowing he's going to take a sack on 3rd down. Give him a chance. If it's an interception, you got the defense backed up. May get an interference call here.
Lazan, number 49, has been victimized twice on Brigham Young touchdowns.
That's just called being heads up, though, on a quarterback's point. Because, Mark, if in fact he takes a sack, now you push him back, the field goal, maybe a bit out of range, you never know. Here it is, okay, you throw it up, well, you need 6 points, and there's still 3 minutes. Yeah, if you got 2 field goals, but throws it up. If in fact the interception's back, you got Virginia backed up. So if they do have to punt, you're in good field position again with a couple timeouts left. So that's a pretty heads up play by Federick, at least giving his guy a chance.
Right. The officials still trying to sort this one out. And here's the call. It goes against the defense.
And you can also take the stance that, hey, 2 field goals win a football game, but the way teams are scoring an alarming rate tonight, field goal doesn't look like it'd be enough, even if you kick 2 of them. Boy, what a break for BYU there.
We're holding on the defense. There was a change of possession. The ball's going to be returned to the offense. 1st down and 10 from the previous spot.
There's your call.
You know what? That's a great call. Yeah, he's calling it on number 18 there. Call it. I want to see take a look at this now. Watch this play. The ball is thrown up. And I want you to see him look at the grab around the. Let's go take that back one more time, guys, if we can.
That was on Isabel.
Watch this now. Quickly at the end here. Take a look at his right arm. He's going to grab him around the arm of the receiver there. Hooks. That's a good call. Good call.
1st and 10 from the 22. BYU trailing by 5. Approaching 3 minutes to play. Staley cuts it back into the boundary. You're looking for cool hand Luke. He's wearing number 26. Evans finally pushing him out of bounds for Virginia.
Went out of the game earlier, popped his shoulder back into place. He's in the game. You're going to be saying that name for a long time here at BYU. Lucas Staley. Look at this. He's got some big, strong legs. But look at this bounce here. Shows him a little hip, gets it outside. Good field position. This kid understands where the goal line is and knows how to play football. 7 carries for him for 80 yards tonight. Jones, we've talked about him a lot. Staley popping to the tune of about 10 yards a carry himself. Well, 11 yards a carry down near now.
The precocious talent, 2nd down and short, trailed for over 57 minutes in this ball game. Right now, they're looking at 1st and goal from the 8.
This game is so huge, too. This game is so huge with Wisconsin losing today, Air Force losing today. And then Miami, the Canes losing today, BYU at 19th. There's going to be a lot of shifting going on in the top 25.
Current drive, 11 plays, covering 81 yards and over 5 minutes on the clock. And this is Staley again. Running in the same direction. Flag down, Staley down at the 1.
Going to get a holding call here. If you're going to get your hands out there, if you're going to use your hands, you've got to keep them inside the body. You're going to get holding on the offense.
That's exactly what it is. Isabel and Evans making the stop for the Cavaliers. This is the time for the defense of Rick Lentz, the defensive coordinator, to stand tall.
On the offense, 10 yards from the spot foul. We replay the down.
As we mentioned, this is an ACC crew today, headed by referee Ron Cherry right there from Atlanta.
That's one thing you can't, if you're an offense in BYU in this particular case, when you're in the red zone here, physical errors are going to happen. You can't let mental errors happen, and a holding call is a mental error, especially when they're standing there staring at you. You got to keep your hands in. Give you a chance.
Big difference. First and goal from the 16. Dabney brought down by the pile at the 11-yard line. It'll be third down and goal. And folks, coming up next, it's baseball across America. The 1999 AAA World Series. It's coming up next right here. A second down and goal from the 11-yard line. Dabney, Staley, Tahi, Sitaki, Atuaya, they have all carried the ball today for Brigham Young.
Do you think Staley's going to get a touchdown here?
He is the deep back out of the eye, and they give it to him. The defense keyed in on him from the beginning and wrestles him down at the 11. It'll be third and goal from the 11. Shannon Taylor, number 9. Isabel, 21. Spruill. And that is Maurice Anderson down on the field for the Cavs.
Maybe their best defensive lineman. They can't afford to have him hurt. Let's hope it's nothing serious and that he's okay.
He has been haunted by injuries throughout his career. Had a knee injury which kept him out for a long period of time, and he has had some foot problems this season. Arguably, as you said, the team's best pass rusher, and he has leveled a big portion of those hits on quarterback Kevin Federick today.
18 of those hits tonight with 3 sacks and I believe 3 other hurries.
BYU has third and goal, and we're going to step back and take a break. As a true soldier would, on his feet. Third down and goal for BYU. Staley and Atuaya split behind the quarterback. It's Staley, and it's incomplete. Fourth down and goal. No doubt they've got to go for it.
Yes, you do. BYU with what? 2 timeouts or 1 timeout left?
They have 2 remaining.
2 timeouts for BYU left with a $1:42. If you change possessions here, you can run out the clock. If you're Virginia, you got to go for it here. Field goal's not good enough.
Shannon Taylor applying the pressure on the blitz that time for Virginia. This is the biggest offensive play of the ball game for the Cougars. Likewise for the Virginia defense. Federick into the end zone, and it's picked off. Picked off by number 30, Jerton Evans, his second one of the night. And that could put the proverbial nail in the BYU coffin.
And I'll tell you what, Mark, this is exactly what happened earlier in the game. A safety in the middle of the field, being a robber, just looking up the quarterback's eyes, makes a nice diving interception. Happened earlier in the game on the open field, happens in the end zone, gets to free himself up. Plus, he's got the back of the end zone to help him not have to worry about something over the top. He can squat, watches Kevin's eyes. Federick makes a nice interception. He's caught the ball twice well on his interceptions tonight.
What an evening for Jerton Evans of Virginia. The 5'11" redshirt freshman who made his first career start at Wake wasn't even going to start tonight, wasn't supposed to start.
He sure is athletic.
Now they will give it to Thomas Jones and try and burn a little bit of the clock. BYU with 2 timeouts remaining, as does Virginia. That was Federick's 3rd interception of the evening into the arms of number 30, Evans.
Now listen to me.
Now BYU with 1 timeout remaining.
30 defense.
What you do, if you're Virginia, obviously you'd like to get a first down. You get a first down, the ball game is definitely over. You can run out the clock then, but BYU going to try to get a stop, and I'd be surprised if Virginia, even if it got to 3rd down and 7 or 8, I mean, I'd be a little surprised if they threw the football down here, Mark, but hey, they've had success tonight. Their quarterback's made good decisions. Dan Ellis has. I've been impressed with both sides, haven't you?
Yeah, I really have.
Haven't you been with them? I mean, there's been some sidebars with Evans playing, like you said, the redshirt freshman. Tight ends for BYU have made some plays. Staley has rushed for 80 yards on 80 yards on 8 carries or something now, and Federick has put up Heisman guts and continued to battle there, kept him alive. drive, and Dan Ellis has played well. Jones has been a star, so it's there's been a lot of good plays. And the fullback, Southern for Virginia's blocked his tail off, and the up front offensive line for Virginia's played well. Look at the remaining schedule. VTech ranked 8th.
That's a big one for them. Virginia, this is their first non-conference game of the season.
And then, oh, by the way, you get Florida State down the road somewhere there.
2nd down and 8. They give it to Mr. Reliable. Jones. High stepping. Brought down to the 38-yard line. And it is a 1st down. Thomas Jones, number 6, has taken it to the house a couple of times for Virginia today. Jones rushed for 1,300 yards last year and is on pace to become the school's all-time leading rusher. Coming up next, folks, it's the 1999 AAA World Series on Baseball Across America. It's Charlotte against Vancouver. Series tied at 2-2 going into the final game. That's coming up next right here. 1st down and 10. 1 minute to play. 2 hands on the ball for the tailback and Thomas Jones.
34 carries. Well, that's his 35th carry. He's due about 214. He had 212 yards before that carry. What a great night. You saw in the previous play, routes in the offensive guard coming out there and burying whoever was in his way. Blocked about 2 or 3 different guys, just banging off one, getting to the other to free Thomas Jones outside. And that'll do it. They got a 1st down. They close it out. 212 yards. Thomas Jones unofficially. 214 now unofficially.
And 2nd down and 8. Virginia, barring a miracle comeback, will win its 3rd consecutive road game against a ranked opponent. In this case, BYU came in ranked number 19 in the polls.
We got a treat tonight.
Sure did.
So did the fans watching here and the fans watching at home. What a great football game. You got to see a lot of good football players and well-coached teams tonight playing this game.
And the coaching brain trust from Virginia and Lavelle Edwards from BYU meeting in mutual admiration at midfield as Virginia defeats BYU by a score of 45-40. The Cavaliers improving to 3-1 on the season. BYU, meanwhile, suffering its 1st loss, falling to 2-1.
Good job, partner. It was fun.
Yeah, it sure was. Some of the highlights from the evening, it belonged early and often to number 6, Thomas Jones. And then a late rally in the 1st half, led by Staley and Federick. But the resolve of the Virginia Cavaliers was not to be denied. It belonged to Thomas Jones. Coming up next, Baseball Across America, Charlotte against Vancouver. So long, everybody.